Hello.
Good morning. My mic was away from me.
Yeah. Every time.
Yeah. Well, you know, I need to get out of my way when I'm doing the work.
Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club. Today, on our docket, on our agenda, on our schedule, on our planned proceedings.
It's the Animating Challenge.
Yeah.
And we're going to start off with it this week. Because last week, we went way over time by accident. Because there were so many awesome entries that we ended up spending hours and hours talking about them, which was great. But this week we definitely can't do that because we have people coming round to service the flat at 9 o'clock our time, which is in about an hour, 10 minutes. So we're going to just start with the Animating Challenge so we can get through everything. Which means that my screen, I'm going to just get the chat up. I actually only have one screen at the minute. Because
that's true, yeah.
I've given the cable for my other screen to Mike so that he can have two screens because Mike's screen broke. So right now he's using a big old TV.
Yes. A big
monitor.
old TV. I'm just going to put a tweet out to tell people that we're going to do this now.
Awesome. How is everyone this morning? Did you all have a good weekend? How was everyone's weekend?
It's so hard to read text.
Yeah, Surf's enjoying the Backstreet Boys tour. Yeah, I know, right? Our flatmate basically said, we need them to come round, so I'm having them come round today. So we're like, okay. So long as we all get out of the flat. So we're just gonna sit outside and have some fresh air. And not go anywhere. Because we don't want to go in any busy places, so we're just going to sit outside while they do their thing. And then we'll be back. But it means that as soon as they come and knock in, we have to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Bug Love sucks. It's 12:52 a.m. and you can't sleep once again. Maybe have some, I don't know, have some warm milk and honey and read a book or listen to an audiobook. That always does it for me. Sends me straight off. You had a nice weekend, lots of long phone calls with a really cool person. Oh, Tib, that's so sweet. That's awesome. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about the bad parts, Tib. You must stay strong. You can do it. You're an awesome person. You can pull through those. It's a constant struggle, I know. Especially during these times when we're all kind of stuck inside. It's easy for your mood to kind of careen downwards.
Hello, Kuya. Hello, Blue Ninjor.
Hello, guys. Hey, Scrab.
Hello.
Lady Abby and Palbro and Afro and Hinky Pinkart. Productive and still calm. That's a good thing for a weekend to be. I guess, how was my weekend? I guess it was kind of productive. I did a lot of stuff that wasn't work, but that needed to be done. So it was productive in that way, in that, the kind of weekend where you come out and it doesn't feel like you really did anything, but you kind of did a lot of stuff that was on the sidelines that needed doing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of weekend it was.
Yeah. I didn't manage to figure out YouTube-DL things or anything, but Tib, if you can help me this morning, I'd be eternally grateful. You could just save up and upload any of the submissions from Twitter. That'd be cool. And how about can you put a video version of yours so we can get it on Sync Sketch, and we'll look at the ones that I have so far, then we'll go.
Okay, so we can look at the ones we have so far, and then as the other ones are uploaded.
Yeah, because I used to just be able to download them from Twitter, from TweetDeck, and now that doesn't work anymore. So yeah, just putting that out there. And Porky Boy, yeah, you made it, and you have a challenge submission too. We'll grab it and stuff.
Devin, good morning. And
hey, Devin.
Tib and Habbo, thanks so much, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tib. Tib and Habbo, I gave them VIPs, so they've got little pink diamonds now.
Oh,
yeah,
nice. VIPs.
Hanky Pink Art, where should we send the videos? Tweet them with the hashtag.
And we will
Animating
see
Challenge.
them. Because we could search the hashtag and find them. But yes, I want to say that this week's submissions, again, like amazing job, guys. So cool to see you all pushing yourselves like this. I was almost gonna do my own as well, and then I got distracted by doing a Doig Swift animate, which I can show you all a part of after we've done the submissions this time.
Yeah.
It's very derpy. It's gonna look very silly after everyone's amazing work to have my scribbly drawings on screen. But yeah, you all did amazing work and got me all emotional as well, looking at a lot of these.
Yeah, you did. You bastards.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
How could you? Maybe emotional in a good way. Have you ever participated in the 11 Second Club? I did a long time ago.
Yeah, I tried to unplug it.
Mike's mumbling that his microphone has stopped working because he unplugged it and replugged it and now it's not working. If you sort that out, then I can continue to chat with peeps. That's good. Yeah, I did a couple of entries like way back, but nothing like recently. Nothing since university days. Habbo is always one of those streams. So Elizabeth Bass, if you just submitted it, we should still be able to watch it. Did you submit it on the Discord? Or did you submit it? You submitted it on Twitter. Awesome. I'm gonna search up the hashtag on Twitter while Mike tries to get his equipment to work. Oh my goodness. Imogen just walked into a glass door. Imogen, don't do that. I know you're not here, but I'm calling to you from across the internet. Not to do that.
Okay, let's start. I'm just gonna show mine.
Oh, your mic's working again.
Yeah.
Awesome, nice job.
Animating challenge.
Yeah, just show your screen because mine is just me looking at the chat and the Animating challenge.
Oh, mine's is broken.
What do you mean yours is broken?
I know why mine's is broken. It's because I have a big ass monitor and now the size of it doesn't work. 1 second.
Wow, this is really cool. Seeing these entries is super cool.
Wait. Where's my monitor?
Oh.
Monitor jewel, there we are. I was not prepared for this.
Oh, this is so cool.
Actually,
oh my gosh, you guys, this is
I
so
wasn't
cool.
prepared for this.
I did not realize that we had this many people entering the animations, and they're all wonderful.
There we go. I was sharing the wrong screen. That's why that was all bark. Cool. You didn't know there was... maybe there's more entries than... Maybe people were just giving us last minute entries, because I don't think I saw the ones that you're mentioning. Cool. Animating challenge is set up.
Challenge.
We're not rushed. We are prepared. All right.
All right. We have a few that aren't specifically for this challenge, but which are probably good to have an honorable mention. I think that okay, let's start with sync sketch and we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't want to miss any.
Are you able to join the sync sketch and do doodles over it from your perspective?
Let me have a look. Sync sketch. Syncsketch.com. And Bug Love Sucks, you could always learn to animate.
That is an option.
Yep.
That's why we're here, to encourage and support and give advice.
Yep.
And if animation is something that you wish to pursue,
Or something that you wish to learn.
or its nobility, then
Are we logging in using Doig Swift or Animation Breakfast Club?
what?
On Sync Sketch.
Doig Swift, I think.
Okay.
Let me see.
Mike is helping me. Because I can't remember what the password is to save my life.
It changed.
But it's a good job that you're here.
Also, you're signing up.
Hold on.
Sign in.
That's what I'm clicking. Thanks for bearing with us for the last 10 minutes, guys, while we get set up. We appreciate it. There we go.
Oh, Tib, I should say, I set up a new thing called Animating Challenge Comic Panels. Hopefully that is where you are uploading things to.
I like that you have set up its own thing. That's very cool. Alright, I am able to sketch over stuff.
Awesome. Yes, she was. Awesome. Cool. So first up is Kurzek.
Here we go. And Kurzek animated a panel from Girl in the Glim. Girl in the Glim, guys, that's my comic! Thank you very much, Kurzek, for making me, like, get weepy at 7 in the morning when I first saw this. Like, this is... I didn't expect anyone to pick Girl in the Glim. I just want to put that out there. I thought you guys would pick other stuff, and it's incredibly touching that people decided to go with that.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It's also wonderful to see people picking other stuff as well, but like this is definitely very close to my heart, and it, I'm just incredibly flattered and thankful that you guys would think to animate this. Okay, so a weepiness aside, let's have a look. If I scrub around, are you synced in with me?
Yeah, I think so. Cool.
So I'm gonna play through it. So this is a part where Midge is trying to convince herself that she's okay. And it's entirely a sequence which has no dialogue. And I think Kurzek has captured it really well here. Like
that breakdown to the first smile is so on point, I think.
Yeah.
Like going straight into the smile, but there's a hesitancy, and you can see that it's not genuine.
Yeah. I really like the little arc that she has as well, as she dips her head to put her hand over her eyes. That works really nicely. Let me just see. Yeah, lovely. Like you're really using the features of the face, which are quite flat in 2D, to convince people that it's moving around and it's 3D. Really using the nose well. Let's have a look through it frame by frame. So we have a nice anticipation here. And then an extreme of the anticipation, which is super nice. Where the shoulders go up. I'd say, let's see, if you're going to bring the shoulders up, then you probably want these bits to also tug up. Also, just to reiterate that this challenge was only 3 hours. So that's amazing that you managed to get it as polished as it is right now in 3 hours. Like, nice job. But just pulling like the tips of the elbows up and the insides of the arms up when the shoulders go up, because everything is like attached to the chain. Like, maybe I go too far when it comes to doing stuff like this, but I always think about stuff like, if the shoulders are pushing up, then the collar is going to push up slightly because it's resting on the shoulders. It's like thinking so much about the chain of causality. And admittedly, with so little time to do this, there's only so much that you can focus on. If head's going down, then it's probably going to squash into this collar bit a little bit.
Yeah, I don't
so
think
you kind of have to, like, you have to cut corners a little bit when you've only got 3 hours to work with.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get out of as best feedback India can give at the time, just because you did Glim and made her soppy.
Well, this is, I mean, I will give you feedback as if you had all the time in the world to do this, because hopefully it will help, you know?
Kurzik's like, no girl, roast me. And everybody's saying, the more roast, the more learn.
See, and because her head is going down here, it means this is going to be pulled up here, because the front of her head is rotating down, the back of her head is rotating up. So the hair is going to be pulled up with that head rotating down a little bit. It actually might not be pulled up as much as I did it being pulled up there. And one thing I always like to do is, because hands are so expressive, so if someone's ever tense, I sometimes like to just like tense their hands up a little bit more than they are. Because sometimes, I mean, I don't know about other people, but I tend to unconsciously tense my hands along with any movement I'm doing. So if I'm like putting my shoulders up, my fingers automatically curl in if I think about that tension. And then let's see, we have a little bit, it's not really an ease out, it's an ease into the next pose, which is real nice. Yeah. Aww. I like the way that you have that nice little subtle thing of her bottom eyelids being pushed up. She's really nice. You can get so much emotion out of bottom eyelids being pushed up with the cheeks here. It's a really nice touch. Yeah, and you see you've done it here. As her shoulders go up here, you have her arms going up. So, like, obviously you know that that's the thing. You don't need me to tell you that. And then we hold on this pose for a little bit. And then we slowly come down. This is a really nice expression. I don't remember this being in the comic, and it's a really nice addition. Like, it really sells that. Bringing in that top eyelid to show the weariness. And using those bottom lines now. You see how the difference goes between the bottom lines being used to like express the happiness because they're pushing up against the eye.
You're right, my friend! You guys are really sweet. And I love that.
Aww. Thank you for the bits.
Thank you very, very much. We will put that towards getting Mike a new monitor. So thank you. Like, every little bit will help us get Mike a working monitor. And I like how these little lines that denote pushing up the eyelid now come to become almost like tired lines. That's really nice. And then, like, this is probably my favourite part of it, is this nice arc here. How she travels on a path here, going up, and everything's really nicely offset as well.
Oh, you want me to put the monitor go on stream?
It feels like everything's moving at different rates. Like, we have this ease out.
I'm gonna move the alerts so they're not over your drawovers.
You have this ease out here, and all the head spacing is quite slow and even if you look at just the head moving. But then with the arm, we have these like nice big spacings, and the contrast between like small spacing on one part with the head, and large spacing with the hand or the arm adds texture to the animation. Because one thing you always want to avoid is moving everything at the same time. So seeing that things are not only like moving at different times but moving at different rates really like adds a lot to that movement. And then we have this nice ease in until the head. Oh, and I really like the way that you have like she's grabbed the covers here as well. I think you could up that hand movement a little bit for her grabbing the cover. Because right now I see you cheating. I see you cheating that hand behind the other hand there without it doing the realistic thing. So you could bring this hand up a little bit.
She just put an emote of like, oh wow.
And then if you have this hand up a little bit, sort of anticipating grabbing. Then when you do grab, not only will it add more texture, because again it will be moving at a different rate to the head and to the hand, but anticipating that and then grabbing it, and maybe even doing a little arc round where she grabs and then the hand goes down and then settles back up at the end.
Yo, CSW Illustrations. Thanks for the follow.
I wonder if we can... There must be a way for me to hold the drawings on frame. I know there is because I've seen it.
So there says he did an Elsa braid right there.
How do I do that? I know there's a way. Don't even joke with me. I know there's a way.
What are you looking for?
Slideshow sketches. There's a way for when you do a sketch to keep it on screen. Wait, is this it? Held drawings.
Press the H button at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold frames. Add sketch, I think. Yeah. There we are. So if we have that. And I've forgotten how I do a new sketch now. Is this? How do I add a new sketch to it? I think this is it? Yeah, cool. And then you ease up into this afterwards.
Also, if there's anyone that you feel would benefit from like seeing these drawovers or would be useful or just learn to animate or anyone, let them know that we do this each Monday and that we're live just now and we'll hopefully help the good info spread.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of graduating animators hitting the streets in next month.
No way! I can't believe this!
That little anticipation before the grab. And if you can make this kind of circular where it grabs and then even goes back a little bit, I think that will help to sell the grab. Like that. You see how it feels more like she's grabbing it now? Whereas before it just kind of feels like her hand kind of smoothly transitions into being in the position, but it doesn't necessarily feel like there's material there. Whereas if you have the anticipation and then you would kind of distort the material with it, it's going to feel more convincing and add even more texture to an already beautiful animation. So this is gorgeous. This made me cry. Thank you so much for doing Girl in the Glim. I love you.
Aww.
This is
Aw.
beautiful work. It's beautiful work, and you did an amazing job, and you made a complete finished product, basically, in 3 hours, which is super impressive. No one ever underestimate how long animation takes to do. Like, doing a finished anything in 3 hours is something to celebrate for sure.
That Onion, thank you so much for the dono. Really appreciate it, my dude.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Wow. That's great. That will, again, we'll put that towards Mike's new monitor.
Yes.
I should take a picture of you guys so you can see what Mike is working on right now.
I'm looking at
It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I'd probably look like some sort of small child.
Yeah.
In front of this.
We have a really big TV. It's really big but really old.
And I can't read anything on it.
I bought it back in university, which was like 7 years ago or something. So
I'm just shaking
his head.
It wasn't
It's more than 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel so old. That monitor is like probably as old as Savio, and it's not the most high resolution, despite the fact that it's large. Anyway, let's go on to Afro.
Afro!
So Afro has done some panels from the Avatar: The Last Airbender comic book series that ran on after the series and continued to tell the tale of our heroes. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a fantastic series. Anyone who hasn't watched or read it, get on that because it's amazing. And I have to say, first off the bat, that this was a very ambitious undertaking of you, Afro, because I saw the page you were doing.
Yeah.
And it's an action page with multiple panels on it. So, like, kudos for the ambition. I appreciate you being like, I'm gonna effing go for it. No one can stop me. So is this definitely the latest version that you have? Let me double check through. It is.
I grabbed the one that was latest in the store.
Yeah. So lovely keyframes first off. And especially really like the simplification on these character models that you've used. Because, like I said, 3 hours, there's no way you could do the entirety of those panels in 3 hours, but you've got the really good beginnings here of something. Another thing that I really like about this exercise just in general is how it really pushes people to try different perspectives and angles that they wouldn't usually. Like, I saw the planning for this, and for this shot, Afro lay down a floor grid to really make sure that he knew where the character was grounded.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing from just now is I really like that even though you've got different compositions in the panels that you're drawing from, you're recognizing that people are going to be looking at the fire. And so Avatar, Aang is like right where the fire is. So immediately you're like, boop, boop, next shot.
So from this to this.
Yeah.
You see how your eye is in the same place both times. That helps with the flow massively. That's something that we use all the time in animation, especially with Nice for Light Table music videos. Especially with Starlight, I had a lot of very fast cuts in. Like using, you wouldn't call them match cuts, but using the eye line to make sure it's in the right place for the right shot.
Frame by frame have a term for it.
What did they use?
I don't know. Like eye trace, maybe? Or no. If anyone knows, let us know.
Let's call it that for now. So at least we can have a term to refer to it as. But yeah, using the eye trace here to make sure that you're looking in the right place between the two is real good. But yeah, Afro put down a whole floor plane here. Which is something that I always encourage people to do, but sometimes you need a little push like animating a comic like this to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the floor plane down here, like, I think has made a real massive difference to the movement. I can't erase that. There we are. Let's get rid of the circle. I'm sure there's an easier way to get rid of the drawovers that I do. So yeah, this movement's real nice. Let's see. The one thing I would say right now with this movement is that the hands and the leg are moving at mostly the same rate. So you see on both of them we have slow in to a breakdown pose, and then they both, the spacing for both increases as he steps over, and then they both stop at the same time too. Whereas I'd say probably, if I was going to choose an order for things, I'd say probably the legs would come first, because at this point he's suspending his weight over one leg. So in doing so, I'd say if all his weight is on this leg, then his hips are going to want to shift over a little bit, because everything is going down onto this foot, which means his center of gravity is changing as he's lifting this foot. So having his hips come over a little bit as he lifts that, and then getting that foot out there first. Let's see where it ends up. Just there. Okay. There we are. So that he can start to put his weight down, and then maybe having his weight bounce back up after that.
So you have a saddle.
Yep, so you have a settle. I think would help to sell the motion a little bit. So yeah, in this one, whoops, that's fine. In this one, his waist would be lower as he comes down into a weight pose, and then he would come back up afterwards. Can I delete that anyhow? There must be a way.
Hey, David.
That's it. Go. Hey, David. And then he comes up a little bit here. I think having him come up as well would help to mirror the energy of this water as it sweeps in, because he's going down and coming up as this water swoops in from the side. So it's like his energy is going down and up, and this water is also like manifesting and coming from behind him and around him.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, and then if you keep the arms at the same rate, the fact that you're stepping forward a bit faster with this foot is going to add overall texture to your movement. It's the same thing as in Kurzex, where fast or large spacing compared with small spacing on different parts of the body is going to add you some texture in. So this last pose, I would have him maybe bounce up just a little bit. Or you could do the opposite and have the previous pose lower, so that this pose feels higher.
Oh. I just added the goal on Arctic suggestion.
So that it comes up as the water comes in. Let me just make a note of that. As water comes in, Ang, which is the name of the character, settles up. Lots of fun with settles. Like, especially in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where their bodies are what control generally the elements. So you always want to try and tie the two together wherever you can. Like, these are some nice keyframes. I like this a lot. I like the way that he's punching with his whole body here. I wonder if you can get more of that in this, where maybe his head would like duck down a little bit, because his head looks very even between the two frames at the minute. His head doesn't really move. Whereas I like to think maybe he would bring his whole body into it and his weight might shift backwards a little bit. Let me see, hold on. I can't delete the frame. I might have to erase it. This is also me learning how to use Sync Sketch.
He's sort of doing a straight punch in karate, like with the
With the first?
with the fist, yeah, because he's got one hand forward, one hand back.
Mm-hmm. So if you were going to do that,
you would twist. If you were doing it, you would twist that back.
luckily Mike has
Forward.
experience.
So he might not necessarily do that. It's not as powerful.
So if you stand still and then you throw a punch like that, what happens to your head?
It does still go down. I'm just more on the bottom. Just
Oh, what, the second keyframe or the first? Like this one or that one?
I don't know. I'm giving you the knowledge. I don't know how to apply it.
Your head didn't go down as much as I thought it would, though. This is why reference is super important. Is his head did more of like a bob with the movement, so it kind of settled back into place. Like with the force of the punch going forward, Mike's head like ducked down and then came back up at the end super quick. But yeah, showing a little bit of movement in the rest of the body and keeping the head a bit less static, I think will sell the force of the punch. Also, a lovely job just on a very simple rotation of these shoulder pauldrons. Really sells the movement. You've got some really good building blocks here. Really, really liking it.
Oh
my gosh,
this is a web browser platform called Sync Sketch. So we've just uploaded the video clips to it, and India's able to redline over it from the video files. She's also doing it remotely, so you're watching me watching her do it on another computer, so you can do it in real time as well. Like you can watch someone doing it in real time.
I wonder if like it might be worth making this bigger. So it like is coming off screen from his punch. And then when we cut away, showing it as being separated into two different kind of balls of fire. Don't know. I'm looking at how to make it dynamic because we're closer in. Things are going to go off screen sooner, if that makes sense. Like they're not going to stay the same size when we're zoomed into him versus when we're zoomed out to him.
That is a challenge there because it looks like in the next frame, like we're following the path of the fireballs. So if they overtake where we're going, you need to mix and match that motion.
Yeah, like they would change position from here to here, I think.
Yeah.
Even very slightly, even though we're following them. Having like a big burst here.
Like we can almost move faster than the fireballs, and so they're like chasing us as if we're about to get hit with them. So they would.
So they would be like more like probably like this frame. You might even want to make them get larger again rather than smaller. But as we move away from that, the trail of this needs to still come from him. Everything needs to come from him. Yeah, as we pull further away, you might want to change the size of these to show that the movement's still going. And then we get this anticipation. Yeah, I think I would take these off screen the first time that you see them. Just because
you're so close to him.
Because you're so close to him that it's going to be traveling much faster from his hand.
Yeah.
Whereas when you are out here, you've had chance to kind of pull back so you can see the entire fireball. And likewise here, you've pulled even further back so you can see more of the fireballs as they travel towards you. I'm excited to see, I hope you continue with this because I'm excited to see more of this. I think you've got a really good start here. Very solid first pass on everything. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, great work. I want to see all that cloth fluttering as well as he's because you can keep him on a held pose, but having that cloth going as he pulls back to show He's been close to the heat, and the force of the blasts is like pushing wind backwards.
Yeah.
Would be real nice. Also, just to give you a small drawing note on this fist here. I think if his shoulder was like here, then you would see a bit more of his arm. Probably like that much. Like that. Just to make it feel a little bit more convincing. And I always like to draw through my shoulders, if possible. So, just to make sure they like feel attached. All right. So, yeah, because as you duck down, your head is going to be like filling this chasm here. So you want you to feel like the back is connected as his head's going down. Because the neck would connect slightly lower down because he's ducking down, so you're seeing the head slightly top on.
Do the arms switch position between this frame and the last frame? Yeah.
No.
Boom. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, they don't switch between the zoom out, but he punches. He punch.
Cool.
Yeah, amazing work, Afro. Super cool to see your work up here. And like, I hope you continue with this, or I hope you have fun with the next challenge too.
Okay, next up is Cheshire.
Cheshire! So this is from My Hero Academia, apparently.
Oh, awesome.
This is not to do with the animation, but I love that. You can still see the text panels here. She can do anything a rabbit can and more. You old bastard! But yeah, like, lovely keyframe here to work from. Like, this is why I love working with comics like this, is because the keyframes they give you, super nice. So let's see. So this character jumps down and then runs around, does a roll, and she's here. Awesome. Like, again, I really admire the ambition with this, choosing such a complex motion and panel, because it just means you're going to learn all the faster. Like, you got to reach for the more complex motions and
see
sometimes to find out where it is that you're like missing the mark. On this, the largest note that I can see at the minute is that between this frame and this frame, it doesn't feel like the motion naturally continues.
Yeah.
Like, if we were to continue her motion here, it feels like she'd be more like this.
I think maybe what I would suggest to sort of up this is if the camera sort of like slightly pans right and then slightly pans left with the character.
You could push the camera over this way. Yeah,
so it's almost like when you kind of see it in animation, like Naruto and My Hero Academia probably, is like the camera sort of does a little bit of a pan, like it's like trying to follow the motion of the character. So it would sort of like drag right after she ran, and then it would try and swing back left as it it's trying to keep up with her motion. So it almost feels like the character's even faster because someone with a camera is not able to keep up with them. And as it swings to the left, it would like connect with her right in the foreground, like that panel. And then I think those would match up.
Yeah, that would get her in the right position. And then you wouldn't have to necessarily adjust your drawings. Because the next key here, let me take hold off for a second.
Ah! He's not gonna get away with this! He's not gonna get away with this!
Double Botnik! Ah! He's not gonna get away with this!
Punky Dumpling, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club, yo.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We're just in the midst of doing drawovers and advice for our Animorning challenge.
Yeah, it's Animorning time, so we have to we have to take a look at these amazing animations this morning. That's our prerogative.
Oh wow, we did get double. I'll fix that.
Oh, was that not intentional?
No.
That wasn't two people simultaneously. That was just one person. Okay, yeah. Sorry about the double botnik. Yeah, because on this frame, it feels like she would have been previously maybe like here or somewhere.
That's fixed now.
So yeah, I think that's a really good call from Mike to move that cam over so that we can have this frame and it feels like the camera's tracking her movement.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm going to play it through a couple more times just so I can check the motion here. Yeah. I was going to say that I feel like this landing pose isn't the most dynamic, but there's a nice long hold here, so it doesn't need to be because she's not going straight from the landing into the run. She's landing and then she's running.
Titan Roboduck, we've not done yours yet. No worries.
Oh yeah, no worries at all. Let's see. So then she starts running. And I would say she starts to feel a little bit short around here. Like some of these run frames here don't feel like they're completely working with the perspective.
I'm just going to refresh to grab the latest that are in here.
And I think it's just something that like doing a bit more life drawing and stuff in your spare time is gonna help with.
Oh, there's a lot more.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Tib. We appreciate it. Yeah, I think life drawing will really help here, just for you to like understand how the forms overlap properly. Like something more like her leaning forward to run 3/4 might look a bit more. Let's see. Well, her leg would be back most likely if this leg is forward. And it would probably be more like this kind of thing. Always thinking about the silhouette and how to sell that.
Yeah, having characters move directly toward camera, you're obscuring a lot of the... It's really difficult because you're obscuring a lot of the information about their motion, which makes it harder to track while they're in motion. So
Yeah.
I think if you were like... If you had that camera move over to the right, it would naturally lend to the fact that the character is running left from frame. So there would be that opening up of the silhouette just naturally. Finally got myself an iPad with Procreate. Oh, awesome!
Oh, nice job. Yes.
Yeah, go Josie.
Like I think ducking down that head a little bit, like you have here, is nice. I think maybe it feels at the minute like the legs are further forward in space than they should be, considering how far back the body needs to be pushed for her to be leaned forward like this. So, if my pen will work. So you've got the shoulders here, and the back of the leg will be there. So it feels like you want that to be like more pushed backwards, the pelvis. To make this make sense.
We did a Sonic stream and we made alerts for it, and we're just keeping them.
We sure did.
You're welcome to.
We sure
Sonic
did make
alerts.
those alerts. Yeah, like I think maybe pushing this leg a little further back will help sell the depth there as well a little bit. Looking at reference of like people doing these kind of movements as well will really help. Because at the minute, it just feels a little bit like the legs are getting small and the torso's getting a bit big because the perspective just isn't 100% reading. Let's see. So I think with this movement here, with her pushing off, that feels quite nice. I like that. But then you probably want to continue that on this frame. So if you continue the arc of this foot, like into the air here, so it feels like she's like pushed off the ground and she's jumping up into the air. Move that knee over a little bit too. There we go. Then I think it keeps the energy flow moving through the body there a little bit better. Because otherwise it feels like the toe is kind of sliding forward on the floor a little bit here. Whereas it's nice and grounded here, which gives you a nice feeling of push off.
Mm.
And then keeping like the continuity of that knee going backwards in space as her torso goes forward. And she's reaching forward with her hand for, let's see, for that spot. She's about there. So I'd probably have her hand reaching more towards that spot in particular as she goes. Let's see what her other hand is doing. Oh, it's coming round. Yeah, if it's coming round, I might do something like that. So we have like a nice arc where this hand is coming up and over and then down. So it comes over there and then it's bam, down here along with the rubber hand.
Nice use of the crosshairs to let us know the tilt of the head. It's a really good shorthand for communicating that.
Yeah, agreed. See. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, thanks, Josie. Josie says, I keep forgetting to mention, but I just love your guys' new bear and bird avatars.
Aw.
It's pretty cute.
I'm really happy you like them, thanks.
Feels like a long time getting to this point.
This is such a cool movement as well, Cheshire. I really like this.
You can really feel the weight coming down on those hands in that one.
Yeah. Think maybe have the head go down a little bit more here. Just to really sell that like over movement here. Like this is a lovely line of action.
Yeah.
Really nice. Very readable. Yeah, the squash in the arms here is real nice. Make sure you keep the hands in the same place because it'll just make that feel more convincing. And then I think for this, you have the head still looking forward, but you might need to start tucking the head away here. You don't have to. You could keep it looking forward.
I think if she's coming up into that full-on face pose there, then you could potentially put it down and then arc it up.
Yeah, it might be good to have it start coming up a little bit here, maybe. Because otherwise it feels like she's gonna... It feels like the momentum of the back of her body, which is the largest part of her body, and the one which carries the most weight, is gonna come straight over and end up putting her into a forward roll. Where she's gonna start bringing her leg forward again, presumably, so that she can push herself back up into this position.
If you were being really ambitious, because you're saying that somersault.
Yeah, you could do the forward roll if you wanted to.
You could like have
I'm
her
not gonna stop you.
Come do the full rotation, and as she's like arriving at the camera and spinning into it, that's when you get that like that face reveal. So she's like flipping, coming around. That's
yeah,
too much maybe. But
if I was gonna have her come back up, I'd start dragging the face up here to get it back into position.
makes me realize that people are asking how to contribute to it. We don't have a donate button at the bottom of our stream.
We don't.
I might make a little graphic specifically for the goal, which has a little broken monitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But thanks for asking, Hamlet.
Yeah, thanks, Hamlet. I appreciate it. So yeah, bringing these hands back is a nice strong pose. And then you're going to want her legs to start coming forward, probably on this frame, so she can continue to push herself up. Because the only thing which is changing here is the hand as the drift comes forward. And that's a good way to save time for sure. But I think especially because you've added in the hair here too, it feels a bit static because the hair also is not moving or reacting to stuff. So I think you'd want to like bring that hair around and the head coming up. And get that foot like planted forward somehow. If this is her body. Now she's got her knees forward. Having that foot come down.
Proto Man, thank you for the follow.
And hands continue to come up. I think would be a good way to then get her back. Get her back into a running pose where she can.
What did Doig's monitor say when it broke? Ow, that HZ.
Thank you.
Oh, David, thank you.
Was that David?
Yeah, what did this monitor say when it broke? Ow, that HZ. I don't get it.
It must be a monitor joke.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Nice. That hurts. That's so good.
Jesus.
So yeah, getting her into a pose like this so she can continue running and pushing up. So it pushes her face up to this position.
It feels so weird.
You know, when you pan the camera over, I think will really help.
You're right, my friend.
Can you get a refund and do
Awesome,
it again?
David Lowell.
Thanks, pal, bro. I think I got messed up because the bot read it as HC, and I'm just like, HC, what does that mean?
Okay, one more set of notes that I just noticed is, I think because you have her go down here, you have her do this like cool somersault. I think one of the reasons that she's feeling a bit squat at the minute is because her head doesn't really go up as she's getting closer to the camera, whereas because she'd be scaling up, her head would be rising. So I think if with the head, if you look to do an arc like this, where the head comes over, then it's really going to exaggerate when she goes down into that roll. Because you're going to have the up and downs for it. So if you have the head more like, you know, this kind of thing as it's coming forward, and then you start to come down here, then that's going to give you much more of like a curve, an arc, as that's coming out. It's going to make it feel more convincingly like she's coming forward in space.
I can't believe this!
Your monitor was dumb for breaking. You'll have a talk with it.
Your monitor was dumb for... I'll have a talk. Thanks, Hamlet. You give them a seeing to, please. Thank you. Josie, thank you. You guys are being so supportive. Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. It means a lot, and it does help us out. Thank you. Yeah. So you see here, if I adjust these circles a little bit, I wonder if I can put a hold frame back on so it's easier to see. Hold frames. There we go. Having a higher head position here means that when it gets to...
No way! I can't believe this!
Oh,
No
Jesus,
way.
guys.
India.
What was that, Mike?
Holy shit, a non-mouse. What? They said dogs what? Dog smells? No!
How could you?
No!
How could you? Come here just to get bullied? So you see, if the head position is a bit higher here, then it exaggerates this jump down.
Oh, did Emlet crack the code? I get him.
It exaggerates this jump down here into the roll, which I think will really exaggerate then the pop back up into this position. So yeah, those are my notes for this. I really love seeing you tackle something so ambitious because this is not an easy thing to do. Like, if anyone here hasn't tried a run in perspective before, like, effing one of the hardest things. Like, I've tried doing one and it's one of the hardest things I ever had to do. So I commend your ambition. I think you have a good start here. There's just a couple of things that you could do to push it to the next level. I think checking out like life drawing to really nail those proportions, raising the head arc here a little bit, and then having a pop back up here at the end. along with Mike's suggestion on the camera pan, I think is really going to help this scene.
You guys.
I'm excited to see it. Yeah. Good job.
I think we're almost I think we're over halfway to the
goal.
Holy. Whoa! Thank you so much. Thank you.
You want to say a few words, Mike?
A few words, Mike. No, just I really appreciate you guys' support. I'm I like Saturday woke up and my monitor just wouldn't turn on, and it was just like, okay, well that's it's a new thing to have to deal with, and I really appreciate that you guys are like looking out for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now that it's 10 to 9.
Yeah.
And people are due to arrive at 9, so if we can't get through the rest of these tests in time, then we'll continue doing this tomorrow.
Okay.
To finish wrapping them up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to rush through
No.
the last lot. I don't think that's fair. I want to look at them all properly and go through them all properly and show them off properly. So if the people come and we haven't finished doing it, then we'll just move the rest of them till tomorrow.
Yeah, if that's all right with you all.
I think that's the best solution rather than us trying to get through like
No
10
way.
now.
I can't believe this.
I'm sorry, Robotnik, but
Sonic's rancid feet leaves marks on the monitor and India loves it.
what was that? How could you? I just heard Sonic feet.
Sonic's feet leave rancid marks on the monitor.
Emla, I know
And
that's you, and I don't even need to be told.
Who would say that? And India loves it.
Oh my gosh. No. If Sonic's feet were on Mike's monitor right now, they'd be huge because the monitor is large.
No way. I can't believe this.
It do be like that sometimes.
You guys.
You guys, thank you so much. We do not deserve you. And we really appreciate it. And no pressure to anyone, like to have to. We know everyone's in a tough position right now, financially. So only donate if you are absolutely okay to do so.
Sonic's feet donated 5 rings.
Oh, one for each toe.
Oh, people.
I hate it.
Well, that'd be Sonic's foot. Unless you're saying that Sonic has like 3 toes.
2.5 toes on each foot.
2.5? How'd you get a half
like
toe?
Like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Because they have 2 toes and like a little thumb.
That's true. That's true.
Anywho, this is we're moving on to Habbo's now.
Habbo!
And Habbo, you had me in tears yesterday watching this. I've never been so heartwarmed as to see you bringing these panels to life. So this is from Go and the Glim. Let me just play it for you guys and shut up so you can see it.
Oh.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm fine. So yeah, you 100% captured this exactly the way I always felt like it would look if it were to be animated, which was amazing to see. Your spacing here, like you've got a real like flair with your spacing, Habbo, that's very unique to you and feels so crunchy and good. I really want to look at your spacing closer so I can like figure out what you're doing with it because it's lovely. The little touches, like the chair zooming in here for her.
Is this Emilet's saying that it's not showing all of it? Is this an older version of it?
Is it not showing all of it? This is
Wait,
the version.
That's the one that Habbo yeah, that's the one that Habbo gave us.
Yeah, this is the one which I have seen of Habbo's.
Yeah.
No way! I can't believe
it's true,
this.
Robotnik.
Thanks for all that you do.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you.
We love doing this stuff. So it's really no problem to us whatsoever. The way the chair scoots in here, because this is a fantasy sequence inside Midge's head.
Yeah, I love it.
So it makes complete sense that she'd be like, a chair!
Summoned it.
And
so
it would
good.
just appear. Like, perfect. And Habo's added this little flair at the end where she, like, blows the chalk as though she's just fired a pistol, which is amazing. Like, I think that works much better than her just spinning it indefinitely. Like, that's such a nice addition, Habo. Like, it feels very in the spirit of everything else. This is really clever, the way that you have cycled these two frames to get the impression that they're laughing, but you know, because people are going to be looking at Midge here rather than everyone laughing, that you can totally get away with just having limited animation on these, and it's meant that it's been a huge time save, and it totally gets the impression across.
Thank you for the dono, Kurzik. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
And Habo, thank you.
So we have like a little ease out here. Just a little tiny little ease out as the body rotates, but her hair and her head stays mostly in the same place. So again, that's texture of timing there. There's larger spacing on the body right now than there is on the head. And then we have larger spacing on the head as it starts to come round. And we have this settle into this position. And Havo like really takes his time settling here into this, which is real nice. And then we have this little anticipation. She goes up and anticipates the anticipation, and we get to see her mood change as she goes up. The one thing I think like you could add here, and these are nitpicks to be clear, like when it comes to this piece, Habo, and also to reassure everyone, this absolutely took Hardik more than 3 hours. So don't sit there going, oh my gosh, I didn't get very far in my 3 hours at all, because Habo 100% spent more than 3 hours on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was to nitpick, because that's 100% what this is. Thank you so much for the sub.
No, that's a follow. Thank you.
Thank you for the follow. Hold on. I'm getting confused between my noises.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know which one the sub is. It's the Shut Up Tales.
Yes.
My personal favourite. Thank you so much for the follow. Yes, if I was to nitpick, which is 100% what this is, then I would say, because right now her mind is changing, like her attitude is changing, she's having a different thought, which is, hold on, I can deal with this. I think a little blink would really help. So blinks are used in animation a lot of the time to show a new thought. So when the thought process changes on a character, and on humans, because this is based upon what has been observed in human behaviour, typically we will blink to show that we're processing new information.
Ah, okay.
You know, actually the lids here should be more like 3/4 down than halfway across the eye. There we go. So I think that will help to sell, like, it doesn't have to be exactly where I put it here, but having a blink on the way up to that anticipation.
No way! I can't believe this!
I think will help to show the thought process
The
changing.
monitor is coming. D.
Oh, thank you so much.
So
That was from Porky Boy.
thank you, Porky Boy. So there's this little ease up into the anticipation. Sorry, Mike, did you want to say something?
Just thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
So we have small spacing here for the ease. There isn't too much I can critique about this one, so I hope me just calling out what Habo is doing super well is helpful to people as well.
Yeah, I think that's as helpful as well.
And then we have large spacing here. So again, we're getting that really nice contrast between fast versus slow in the spacing. Hands coming up. This is his expression, I love this. And that's like a really nice smear on the mouth.
Yeah. It's
And-
lovely to see these like in isolation.
Yeah, and notice how the movement here is going around in an arc. So her head is going around in an arc. It's going a little bit forward here and then back, and then bouncing back up in a settle. And the hand is simultaneously folding in a counter arc, unfolding this way. So we have this nice feeling of like Midge is literally opening up, you know? And then this hand is just coming up nice and simple, little bounce there as it overshoots. This is what we call a hard accent. So a hard accent is when, say for example, you're pointing. This is always the example I use. You're pointing, your point will overshoot to here and then settle back into its final position here. So that overshoot we call a hard accent. When you instead slowly ease into something, we call it a soft accent. So a little bit of animation terminology for you guys. Hard accents versus soft accents. Soft accents are graceful and beautiful. Hard accents are great for showing energy. If someone's pointing at you and they're angry at you, they'll probably use a hard accent.
Hey.
So yeah, her face settles down, her hair comes up, as does, like, all of the flailing material here is travelling up to show the momentum of the movement, which is fun. And Habbo loves his settles. So, like, he keeps the cells moving, which keeps the energy going. Look, she's still doing a circular here. Like, she circles round, and then this last settle here is also circular. Spancer One does a lot of circular settles as well. It's a really good technique. And then I also just want to call out, like, I think this is a really nice way to get to the next scene. This, like, panel wipe is really creative. Panel wipe, good.
So good, yeah. Because
My L is terrible.
it accommodates and respects the paneling from the comic while introducing the transition over to the new framing. So, like, because it's coming from bottom left, and there is an actual diagonal line that is the framing in the comic page itself.
Yes.
It lets you kind of be like, oh, something's happening left. And so your eye's like, whoa, that's cool. And then when that negative space, that rest area, is then filled by Midge.
It's great, yeah,
So
because
good.
Habbo could have kept this completely off screen and just had a cut straight into the next scene. But, like, this is much smoother and much nicer. And he even used a little chalky texture on it too, which is appropriate because she's currently writing on the chalkboard. So then we have this chair is coming in, and Midge has like an exaggerated stomp down onto it. Again, look at this tight spacing here as her foot comes up and she holds in the air, and then we're going to get a bam down into that. Fast versus slow. The contrast really helps things feel alive. The hair is dragging here behind and just catching up. And Habbo even has the chair squashed to show the force of Midge's leg upon it. Like, if you were to stamp on a chair in real life, the chair wouldn't squash. But screw it, we can do what we want. We draw in it.
Yeah, I love that confidence though. Like, oh, it's so good. It's such a nice addition to the feel and the mood of what's happening. But then it goes into the, like, what would be the key pose from the panel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's accommodating the ideas, but then plussing them in such a, like, taking what the panel is communicating and then adding that little animated flair. Oh.
Yeah. And
Ooh,
again,
it's-
this is a squash for Midge as well, because you can see then she pings up into her final pose, which is, you know, less compressed than this one. So he's squashing down on Midge there too. If I were to add in like a little bit of extra flair, I'd probably drag this wrist down more to begin with, and then bring it up to really be like, there's a whip motion where this is coming down, and then we're having this like flare out here of her hand. You just refine that a bit so you can see it easier.
Dude, Sluggy, you saying that I'm gonna have to color this now, but like, we're currently working on a trailer.
It's not like
Of our
this
own
though. I'm
for
like, what am I
Glim,
doing?
And then we're like, oh.
Yeah, this is amazing. Should have done this page instead, Mike. Look at this, it's great. So yeah, doing a bit more drag on this hand as it comes up, I think would really like add a little bit of extra flair to that movement. Because at the minute it pings open at exactly the same rate that she's also pinging back up from the chair recoil. So I think like delaying that by having the hand flick open, but the wrist still be bent at that angle as the hand continues to travel down from the movement would add even more texture. Even more texture! You could go crazy with these circular settles too and have like the ties from the bag looping over.
Look at Jove in the back.
I know. He's so done with everything. I can't wait to dig into Jove more. That's a character I like a lot. That I want to talk more about, but can't because I started a comic and it would spoil it if I talked about it too much. Yeah, so we have this big squash, face squash, and then stretching back up. And notice how the mouth here, it's almost a little tiny smear. Like it's delayed, it's pulled behind everything else, and then it settles upwards. And then we have this chalk blow. And look at this great anticipation. Anticipate, grabbing it, the fingers spread out a bit, and then bam. So that's something I'm noticing a lot with Habo's timing that I think helps give it that crunch and is really beautiful. Is he will like ease into something and really ease and use a lot of circular settles and then like bam to the next frame. So this would be like his breakdown.
And just to be clear, the grab and the bam and the blowing on the chalk and everything, that's additional information as well.
This was not in the comic.
Yeah.
Like the comic just ended on this. I think this was the keyframe for the comic.
Yeah.
So this is all just his Habo and having these things pop up too. The way you've even put care into like this appears and then it shrinks and then it comes up again because it's got a bounce. It's super nice. Like even care has been put into how these these speech bubbles appear. The way, because we feel like we're zooming out here, we also feel like we've kind of zoomed in past the speech bubble and it's coming in with the camera.
It's nice, and then the settle.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful work, Habo. Like, you make me weep. You make my heart large. I love you. You're amazing. Thank you so much for bringing this part of Girl in the Glim to life. And yeah, just beautiful drawings, beautiful posing, like really nice feeling of dimensionality with the head. You're handling all the forms really well. It's like such a treat to see this realized.
No way!
So
I can't believe this!
I had a small conversation.
To you too that I was able to rediscover my childish
can I just say that,
excitement
like,
for art.
oh.
Because of your discipline and passion, I can now tackle animation and comics. You two gave me a direction and an invaluable skill. I am forever thankful.
Oh, that is the sweetest thing.
I'm sorry I talked through the start of that message. I'm gonna read that out.
Can we recap it?
Yeah.
Can't we talk about the background characters though? We can. I hope we can flesh those guys out a little bit more in incoming books.
Let me just read this.
Thank you for the follow. You guys are way too kind for us. We're just looking at y'all's work. This is all of you guys being fantastic.
So that was Rolando. Rolando says, Doig and Swift, thanks to you two that I was able to rediscover my childish excitement for art. Because of your discipline and passion, I can now tackle animation and comics. You two gave me the direction and an invaluable skill. I'm forever thankful.
Oh, well, Rolando, you're super, super welcome. And thank you so much for helping us out too.
Thank you for helping me make my way towards getting a new monitor. I've been trying to get a new monitor for 10 years. I've never been able to justify. My monitor has just always worked. It's never justifiable to be like, I need a new one. And now
Rolando's a great pal as well. Rolando was one of the people who helped us set up the stream.
That's
when we
so
very
true.
first started doing it.
Yeah.
Like
Rolando
has
a theme song that's years. It's a joke.
Let me give this a refresh now because I only have the first 4 on my monitor. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do a few quick shout outs to people who did things that weren't comic panels but were still cool and for the Animating challenges. Just because I can see them on there, I just want to give them fast shout outs. So the Gyro Mighty did this cute little Kirby walk where he's really like pissed off. And
I love that.
It's just full of character and great. So I wanted to show that off. I really like the line style as well. The way it feels super traditional is like gorgeous. These little variations, like beautiful work. Like it's very clever too how the shading really doesn't change on the body at all, but it still completely sells it.
Yeah.
And then this is also from the Gyro Mighty. It's cute little idol.
I think from what I remember reading on Twitter, these were like, I'm doing these animation things to prepare to do like Animating challenges.
Well, they're very cute.
Yeah.
Is this a villager? It looks like it could be a villager from Animal Crossing. It has the little plaster
It does,
and the nose
yeah,
tag.
I think so.
And I have that hat because it's awesome. Yeah, this is incredibly cute. I love the choice of colour here. Like, this seems like the kind of colours that you would be into too, Mike.
Yes.
Those blue shadows and the overall pink warm hues of everything.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Gyro Art.
My weakness.
Or the Gyro Mighty for submitting those. Like, they're super cool. Okay, let me see.
Thanks for including those, Tib.
Yeah, much appreciated. Ooh, what is this? Let's have a look. Aha!
Oh,
I won't play it too many times just because I know it flashes.
Yeah.
So, like, a warning to anyone who is sensitive to flashing. That's great. Yeah. So this is a panel from, I think it's from My Hero Academia, they said.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And this is, it's Andres Hernandez. Hello again. Thank you for coming. Thank you for submitting again.
Yeah. Beautiful line style. Like, one thing I'm noticing, Andres Hernandez, with your work in particular in general, is just like, there's a really nice feeling of line quality that you get in the sketchiness and the roughness of it. That's really kind of beautiful and unique and feels very natural. Like, that's something that I think you should definitely look to preserve about your style because it's really a pleasure to look at. So I love that you've added these impact frames here. This is super cool. Especially this one, which is like just a very haunting image in itself. Like, that's great. I think this one is a little less successful, but in motion, I think it works super well. The way that you are, like, the spacing on this is very tight again. But the fact that you have this slow-moving thing, this slow-moving, I guess, movement is a good way to say it.
Yeah.
With these fast-moving ink sketch lines over the top that just change up, like, the exterior lines of it and add some feelings of texture, like, really, really make it feel like there's like a wind rushing by. Like, it gives it a lot of dynamism, even though the actual movement of the thing isn't much. It still feels very energetic.
Yeah. I always wonder how this sort of feeling is achieved, and it's really nice to be able to see this in like each frame, what it is communicating to the overall feeling.
It feels very authentic to My Hero Academia too, because I've seen them do that a lot, where they have a character moving very fast, but the actual frames of the characters are very tightly spaced. Like, a punch or someone flying through the air, it's actually a very slow movement, but it's the background movement, the exterior movement, and the additional effects on it. Yeah. Like these speed lines here that really give it that feeling of, oh my gosh, they're going so fast. This feels so fast, even though the animation itself...
We're seeing it in slow motion, and you're seeing the real motion reaction to their speed against them.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think there's a lot being added as well by the varying thickness of your lines. Like, I'm looking at the eye.
Yeah.
And the way that the lines are varying and boiling there. And, like, it adds this really nice just sense of life to it. They have these line boils on there. This is all on ones as well, isn't it? So that's again helping. this is on 2s. The last frame here is on 2s, but everything else is on 1s. Yeah, beautiful work. Let me see. Yeah, lovely stuff.
Lovely.
There's not much that I can really critique about this. It's partially because it's quite a short clip, but also because it's very competently done. Like I could say, oh, you'd probably add in the ear on this bit and this bit, you know, as well. But I don't think it's necessary. I think it already works as it is. I'd be interested to see this lead into another movement to give it a bit more context in what's actually happening in the scene. Because it's a very cool shot by itself, but I think if you gave it some context, it would be even cooler. Like, is this someone about to like backhand someone? Is it someone like spinning a kick up? Is it someone like caught in an explosion? The fact that this section here is going backwards makes me feel like they're winding up for something.
Ah, so it's like a spin. Oh wait.
So it feels like the next movement would be for this to come back out and into some kind of move. But without the context, I'm not 100% sure. Like it could be a number of things. So I'd love to see another shot either preceding or following up this.
But for what this is doing, it's successful.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. I guess the next step for you would be to add on all those extra little details, you know, that are present in the characters' costumes. You know, whether it's like, because you have this basis here, whether it's like the folds of the material, you know, there, or whether it's like the trim of the front of the zip or something, to add those like little extra bits in and have them also go along with the slime boil style, I think would be a nice shout.
That was so fair.
And just add that little bit of a refinement to it.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I also chickened out of the elbow here because I felt like it was going to overlap here.
Gotcha.
That's your problem to solve, my friend.
Yeah.
Is like, how do you fit the elbow in here?
Well, the elbow would be taut to the material would be taut to the elbow because
that's
of that
true.
bend.
But if the crook of the elbow is here,
yeah,
then the elbow should probably be like this.
Depends on whether the form of the arm is being obscured by the hair. But I suppose you have the rest of the head there, so yeah.
You know, and it's hard for me to critique. Like you could say that the arm would probably be like this behind the head, and so this thing, if it's a fist, would probably be more like this, and probably wouldn't push that far back. It probably wouldn't have that sharp an angle. But this is a challenge where people have taken comic panels and animated them. So if that's what the comic panel is like, then that's
what it's like.
Correct. That's like you have done your job perfectly well, and there's not much you can do about that. You could adjust it, but like if that's the way the comic panel is, that's the way it was drawn. So like I understand you also keeping it the same.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to oh yeah, also Andres Hernandez. Effing awesome job, dude. Great stuff. So this is Christopher MC.
Cool. I think they were doing Wolverine, it looks like.
Yeah. That's the way you can tell. Got those claws. Nice. Poor Wolverine. It's a good job he's got that recovery power, isn't it? Yeah,
this is interesting.
This is interesting. I really like the way that you have, like, I don't know if this is your natural way to draw or if you are emulating comic, but if you're emulating the comic, I think you've done like a really nice job in like all this additional texture here. I should use red because it's easier to see.
That Blue Ninja. Hey, this is your work. Cool. Awesome.
Hello. All this additional texture here that like sells the feeling of the comic book. Like that would have taken a fair amount of time to do, but it really helps to give you the idea that this is an animated panel moving.
And this is not only like
it's coloured as well.
This is not only comic book feel, but this is like really like an older 70s, 80s Marvel like approach.
The style of it feels very authentic. Like, awesome job. And it's here that we come across one of the problems with animating comics, where things perhaps work in the panels, but don't necessarily work in motion. And what I'm thinking about is this arrow, which comes in here from the right to the left.
Yeah, because we're
through his arm.
We're point of view Wolverine
looking at his, we're almost like looking through his eyes. Right?
Yeah, it feels like it. And then we flip 180 in the next one.
Yep. But then in the next panel, the arrow's coming from this way. And that works fine in still images a lot of the time. But in animation, it can be a bit disorientating to see something come from one perspective and then immediately see it come from another perspective.
Yeah.
Something which helps tie these together is the fact that the subject that you're looking at is in a very similar place between panels. If you wanted to adjust the comic to make this work a bit better, you could shift him over a little bit here to the left, so his hand falls into exactly the same zone as it did on the previous frame. Another thing you could do to make this feel less jarring is, because the arrow's already gone into his hand here, you could start with the arrow already through his arm.
Yeah.
And just have a bit of follow through on the feathers or something to show that follow through. I'll just write here follow through.
Yeah, then the motions don't necessarily contradict one another.
Yep. And you still get the feeling that it's just gone into his arm on feathers.
I mean, this might be an intentional thing for like the almost Jackie Chan timing, where it's like show them it twice to really feel the impact.
Yes, and I like that. And normally that would work. I think it's just because right now the arrow's coming from two separate directions that it feels jarring.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I think another thing you could do to show the force of the arrow would be to have his hand react to it. So I almost want to have one frame of him like this, and then have a frame where his hand is like thrown backwards a little bit from the force of the arrow. I should use red because this is going to be hard to see, considering that your line art is black too. Sorry about that. Boop, 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 boop. Very rough hand. Please excuse my drawing.
Orlando says, "Oh shit, bro, they shanked my arm."
Oh shit! So to have that recoil to show the force of the arrow. To show, like, unless the statement is he's so tough that, like, he's not even gonna, like, it doesn't even affect him. But then the fact that his face reacts later in this makes me feel like it's meant to be like a oh shit moment. Someone shot him. So I think in this case showing the force of the arrow would help that. And then you have Mike is showing me a picture that David has sent. I'm assuming it's David.
Oh yeah, how can you tell, India?
And then we have this, which is more like a keyframe, to be honest, because you ping straight to it. It's like a keyframe, and I think it's a nice key. I think you could start anticipating it earlier, like if you wanted to add some more frames on here. So one thing that I love to do is anticipate the anticipation, because I don't necessarily want to have a big movement on his head and a big movement on his hand at the same time, because I want there to be texture there. So you could throw his head up a little bit here, so he's like anticipate the anticipate, widen his eyes, like, you fucking what, mate? You did what? You shot me? I, Sir Wolverine of Wolverhampton.
Sir Wolverine of Wolverhampton.
And then when you like you would hold. Let me add the hold on here. Yeah. So you would keep this held, the recoil frame, or you would just ping it back a little bit. And then I'd put in the anticipation here where he's like about to howl. So his head would go down. He'd be like, I'm always angry. And then when he throws his head back here, it feels like more of a change. You have more contrast there. The only other thing I'd say is watch out for moving things like his sleeve here and not having it affect the rest of his body. So if his hand and his sleeve are going down, if you have time, of course. Again, this was a 3-hour challenge, so take all notes with a pinch of salt, because I realise you guys might not have had time to do everything you wanted to with these. But I hope this is helpful. Then his upper arm, like, because the movement of his hand coming down is motivated from his upper arm. In order to move his hand down, you need to move your upper arm, because your upper arm is attached to your elbow is attached to your wrist is attached to your hand. If you try to move your hand downwards without moving your upper arm, there's nothing you can do. You can only rotate. So for him to move his hand down here, we need his upper arm also to come down. Are you showing on screen?
Yeah.
That's, oh my gosh, just the effing feet, man. Oh, I hate it so much. You know, David, you better be publishing like a book of these. You better be publishing a book of these. I want them in book form, please. So yeah, I'd have him come up like this and then maybe cushion into that. So bring his head up even higher. Cushion in to head pose. So really, like, my notes for this are just about adding some in-betweens and such to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the style that you have is really cool at the minute, and you are limited by what's happening in the panels. I do think there are a couple of things that you could improve from the original thing, the original source material. The shines here, I think, feel a bit even. They're all very similar size and shape, and they all travel at the same rate.
Yeah, you could offset those,
Yeah.
so it's like
I
ching,
think
ching, ching, yeah.
having it really like, wow, go up in a curve instead, and almost even travel at different rates where they start slower at the bottom. If I do a little animation chart here.
If you want to see shines shining over an object, you should check out David Liu's work on Knight Runner Magnum Bullets, because
Yes.
there's so many shines.
David
A whole
is,
car full of shines.
as well as just being like a general awesome, cool human being, and a fantastic artist, David also has incredible
Ow.
animation effect skills.
Sorry.
And you can see them in a lot of the Knights projects, because he lent his effect skills to both Knight Runner and Starlight Brigade. There are some Starlight Brigade effects shots in there from David. The thing is, you would give David a shot and be like, can you clean this up please, David, and add some lighting, and he'd be like, yeah, sure, and it would come back with about 5 different shines on it that like really up it
Yeah.
and make it look amazing. You'd be like, thanks.
But then he'd also be like, you can use what you want from this.
I didn't ask you to do that, and you've like put all this extra awesome stuff on it.
There'd also
Thank
be
you.
a gross drawing off the side
Yeah,
as
there would
well.
there'd also be like, Sung would have like a shriveled arm off camera or something.
There's a shot with the lineup of the heroes from Starlight Brigade.
You know
and-
that epic shot where they're like listening to the director talking to them, and you see them all stood together.
David's drawn their feet, but like as if they're like half a meter tall,
Yeah,
below the canvas.
just
and
like tiny
different-
baby feet underneath the camera, and like, I think Ninja Brian's arm is obscured behind Sung as well, and it's just like the most terrifying thing.
Clyde, thank you so much for the host, my dude.
Oh, thank you, Clyde.
Welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club. I'm Doig, this is Swift. You've caught us in the middle of
The Animating Challenge reviews.
The Animating Challenge reviews. We're going through people's work and giving them advice and feedback.
Yeah. Also, anyone in the chat who doesn't happen to know who Clyde is, you really should. He's an amazing animator. If you've heard of Bitey of Brackenwood, I got the name right that time. I didn't say Blackwood, which is good. Then
Bitey of Brackenwood, that's the one.
Bitey of Brackenwood, then you will know his work because he's the creator of that. And he's currently making a film, like a feature, a 2D feature of that's going to be about 20 minutes long. He's working on it most every day on his Twitch channel. He's an incredibly giving, supportive creator who is happy to answer animation questions and has really helped Mike and I out with some stuff as well. And his film is like, it's looking astonishing. You guys need to go and check it out. You really do. Okay, so Christopher, thank you so much. This was awesome to look at. Thank you for submitting to the Animating Challenge and taking part. Great work, my dude.
Oh, and he storyboards for Bob's Burgers too. Thanks, Harbinger.
So good. I really want to watch Bob's Burgers. I haven't, but I caught like an episode.
And is it?
And
really
it was
amazing?
like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Okay,
I really want to watch it.
So much I want to watch with you. India was saying to me like, "There's not enough time to watch things. I need to be making more things."
The thing is, people tell me I need to relax and watch more stuff, and so I've been trying to do that. But also, like, one of the ways that I relax is to make stuff.
Yeah.
I actually I just enjoy doing that in my free time.
Rory, thank you
follow.
for the follow. I think that's Rory.
Rory. So Hinkapink Art has done what looks like Full Metal Alchemist, which is a series that I've been pushing Mike to watch.
Full Metal Alchemist. Yes. Okay.
Oh. Ooh. This is a real nice motion, Hinkapink.
I love that.
I'm a big fan of this. Especially the timing that you have on your frames here. The timing and the spacing of this, like, really do make it feel epic. Like, nice job getting that cam move feeling convincing too.
Yeah.
It feels like you've done that cam move frame by frame with your drawings rather than using a camera. Like, there's a real nice pace to this. It takes its time. And I think that's really important when it comes to animating anything that has to, like, feel epic. So, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with the weight shifts and the way that if you put all your weight on one leg, you kind of have to shift over. So you can see here, Hinkapink has him putting his weight first on this knee. The weight goes down. I spelled weight wrong because I'm professional. So the weight's down on this point, and because all the weight is coming down here, the pelvis shifts to go more over into that direction, taking the weight off this knee a little bit. And you can see that in the way that the pelvis has moved over, and the pelvis itself is also bringing over the shoulders here, which are swinging. Oh, look at this nice circular motion we have too. So the shoulders are swinging round like this. And you can see this in the relationship of the head to the shoulders. So you can see, as I was talking earlier about drawing through the shoulders, but you know that the head is down here, both because of the position of the nose, which is a really great anchor point, which shows us where everything is, and because of how the head is overlapping the shoulders, we can see that we're looking kind of down on it more. And then as we swing back, the head is less in front of the shoulders. It comes up a little bit, and the torso also elongates, which shows us that we're looking at it more front on.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club.
If we look at a torso like this, and that's its top view, then when we are looking at it 3/4, it's more like this, which, as you can see, is squashed in comparison to when it's face on. So this is how we are getting the impression here that Ed, which is the name of the character, is leaning over here and then straightening up here. So he puts all his weight on this, his left leg, or the screen left leg, and his pelvis is over the top of that. And as that happens, he's now safe to unfold this leg because all of the weight is over here. Everything is here. So he can move this foot freely. So watch what happens once he puts his foot down. His weight shifts back over. Because now he's putting weight down on this foot, on the heel here. So it feels really convincing. We also have a little bit of an over action here on the waist. You can see it goes up here, and then the next frame is going to go down to really sell that weight. I think one thing you could do is I'm seeing this hand that you're resting on his knee. It's a really nice pose, by the way. The silhouette is very readable.
Yeah.
Which really helps to sell it. Is I think you could have his hand like linger in the air just a little bit before pushing down on the knee. And when you push down on the knee, it's going to bring this elbow up. It's going to have the hand go down. Just because right now, going straight from... Thank you very much for the follow.
Thank you.
Going straight from this position to it just being on the knee. Feels like we're missing the chance to show the impact of that going down on the leg and the reaction that would have in the body itself. So I would say maybe have one frame of it or 2 frames of it up here and then have it slam down there. And that would be reflected in the shoulders too, which would be like, bam, now we're up. This shoulder's up. And now, like, you can see that this feels... It feels real. It feels like you've like thought about this and referenced it. So I feel like we're losing a little bit of the force here. I think the camera's starting to move here. Yeah, so the feet aren't being displaced. This is actually the camera moving. If you had a floor plane in here, I think that would help a lot in showing that he's not being displaced, that it's actually the camera that's moving up. So I think it would be worth like maybe just putting in a little indication of the floor, so that when this happens and the floor moves down, you're like, okay, the camera's moving, but he's staying in the same place. You're losing a little bit of the force on this hand here, and I think it's because the wrist now feels straight, which it would still be draped over, I feel. Like this.
It would even be pushing like further down with the heel of the hand to get that like lift. Like
the fingers might come a little bit more over here like this. As like Mike says, the heel of the hand pushes down. Let me just adjust the rest of the hand, the arm around this. The people who are coming to service the apartment are late, which suits us.
Yeah.
Because it means we get to have more of this in. Let's see what's happening with his shoulder here as well.
I just want to let you know, India, that we're at 99 viewers.
Holy guacamole, what?
Yeah, so thank you for like...
Guys, this is the most views we've ever had. Ever.
Big thank you to the Raiders. Oh, it dropped. Awesome.
Look, you scared everyone off.
I did.
Shit.
But
thank you for the follow. Thank you so much, Clyde, for the raid. I think that follow count is mostly down to you, my friend. Again, please, everyone, do check out Clyde's Twitch channel and his work. He
so
has
friendly.
A lot of followers for a reason.
Okay, little thing. When I was studying university, I saw Brackenwood, and it's one of the things that went, oh, I want to make animation, because I had previously been like, I want to make games, and then I was like, oh, but animation though, and it's so weird and awesome to like be able to reach out and just say like hello and be able to talk to someone I've admired and went, oh wow, they are doing it. They're making their own stuff. They're just doing it. It's just really inspiring and really cool to connect with people like that over platforms like this. Like I recently learned that he's been streaming for like 10 years. I'm like, how did I not know that? I'm glad I know that now. but it's been really cool to just say hello to him and thank you for the support back, you know? What a cool dude. Absolutely what a cool dude.
Yeah. We're very lucky to have met so many amazing supportive animators who have like been very kind to us and supported our work. We're forever thankful for that. And of course, everyone in the chat as well, you guys all rock. Thank you for making these mornings such a pleasure. And thank you everyone who has submitted to the Animorning Challenge. Looking through your work is so much fun and so wonderful to see all the creativity. So yeah, if you want to keep the shoulder up a bit more, you can. Gonna like amend that so you can keep the shoulder up a bit more. It feels like here the torso would be in front. You have here the shoulder being in front, but I think given the position of the head leaning forward and the center point here that you have on the chest as it comes forward, it feels like that entire chest area would be much more forward here. So I think the seam of the sleeve would be more likely to be along here instead. Let's see, and then
Yeah, I'll just say as well, like we'll be sharing the sync sketch link with you all so that you can look through and scrub through all the notes that India's making, as well as seeing all the beautiful animations that people have submitted.
yeah,
We're really blown away by people participating in this, and we're really, really happy that you all are like, you know, pushing yourselves and trying out this new stuff. Like really, really cool stuff, you guys.
yeah, wonderful stuff. Like, I mean, well, you guys have seen. You know how everyone's work is. It's incredible. There we go.
Scholas, yeah, you can enter with a 3D animation. Please do.
Absolutely.
Like,
you're welcome to choose any medium you like. The main thing is just to get people like pushing outside of the comfort zone, and give them a reason to make things in short amounts of time that they can put on their reel and develop into more stuff if they want. Because so often it's so hard to find the time to do these things. So being given a challenge where it's set for you and you don't really have to think about, oh, what should I do for my reel? Oh, it's so much pressure to think about, you know. If you can just be given a starting point,
yeah,
and 3 hours to do it in, then it can make it feel much less overwhelming and much less like a mountain that you have to overcome.
We're just bigging up our own challenge, but I think it's like
well,
what has
it doesn't
helped
even
us.
have to be our challenge. It's just
The challenge, yeah.
anything you do. Like 11-second club is the same.
This is what we found have helped us in the past.
Yeah,
to
it's
learn
just
and
like
grow.
11-second club has the time limit of a month rather than, 3 hours, but it's the same thing. Small challenges are huge in learning to develop your style and learn to become a better animator. Small projects are what got Mike and I the jobs that we have at nights.
Yep.
So yeah, this is lovely. What a lovely movement. The way that the his claw drags here too. Calling it a claw, but it's actually more like he's used alchemy to turn his arm into like a dagger or spear. I think you could swing it out a little bit. You know what? No, never mind. It's nice. Because you've got this nice arc going in and up here.
Yeah, it's an S motion there.
On that, which is real nice.
I think Pink's art. I think Hinka Pink Art said that they took reference for this as well.
Oh.
So I think we're seeing some of that, like.
It shows.
And
it shows not in the way that I'm saying, oh, this is rotoscoped. I can see that you've used reference for this. It shows in the way that this motion feels convincing, naturalistic, believable. All the good words have come from you using reference for this.
So what you can see India doing here is like taking maybe what you had in the frames that you had, but then you add those exaggerations and those intentional like arcs. That is where it pushes it from something that is realistic to something that is believable. With animation, exaggeration is key to really communicating, like really feeling the motion in order to get that snap and that pop and that snatch and that pop and
yeah, you snatched and pop in.
Yeah, this is how you like analyze what you're seeing, observing it, and then interpreting it through that lens of your own personal expression.
So what I've done there is I've just dragged this frame a little bit more on the hand, on the left-hand side hand there. Just because this frame, the bend in the arm is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you could get a little bit more drag out of that, which would make his arm feel a little bit heavier. And then we have this straightening up. And you can see again, like, the realism that comes with taking reference as his weight goes from being predominantly on this leg, which is where the weight is, over to him settling and his pelvis going backwards in space here to rest more on this leg. Because this foot now, we know from the way shifting his weight, has planted. He's put it down. And now he's leaning over there. And that's him taking his hand off his leg. I think you could separate the arm in the silhouette a little bit more there.
Just answer Talv Monster. We do this every Monday for the Animating Challenge. The Animating Challenge is a relatively recent thing. We've done it for about a month now, maybe just over. And every Monday we look through people's submissions and give advice and critique. The sync sketch thing, this is the second week of it.
Sync sketch is great.
I think this really helps India like put her words into demonstratable.
Yeah. It makes it take longer, but I think it's more useful, and also we can link people to this afterwards, which I think is a huge help.
What is this, Loki?
Nice, like super nice, super nice.
David's just spent his time rendering the feet.
Of course he
Sonic.
has. Of course he has. He just likes to torture us.
If this is something you'd be interested in participating in, Talv Monster, then check out the hashtag Animating Challenge on Twitter to get a feel of like previous entries and everything like that. This is a new thing, but we're trying it out and really enjoying the process. I think analyzing things and breaking them down is a really useful skill to do on others' work to help you understand how to apply their approach to your own. It's not copying, it's like digging into what they've done and really seeing how things are. Sorry, I'll let you.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to ping out here. So given this motion of wipe, I'm assuming that Ed at this point either has a scuff on his face or he has like a bloody nose or something that he's like wiping in a badass way. So I'm just saying between these two frames, I think if you added some like ease into this, let's see, ease in.
Yeah, so like
ease into this and then some like,
thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club.
Add some like 5 in betweens or something between this and this. They can be evenly spaced, but I think having that like I'm standing up and then like just a slow wipe would really add to the badassery of this.
It's interesting that you have this contrast narratively where it's like slow get up, slow wipe, because you know it's building towards he's probably going to go more into the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's a really nice.
You just had a whole body motion where everything's been moving, and now to just like focus on his face and have like this moment of quiet in the animation, I think would be real nice.
Yeah.
If you wanted to add a few more frames in there, just to have him like really slowly just wipe, Edward Elric, wipe. Yeah, this is beautiful work. Really, really gorgeous. Very convincing motion. Great use of reference in order to make something feel solid and realised. So we're moving on. Great job, Hinky Pink.
Thank you.
I love Fullmetal Alchemist as well. You know what else I love? The Adventure Zone.
Whoa!
I recognise this boy. This is Taco the Wizard.
So Michael Sardi, thank you so much for participating in the Animating Challenge.
Yes, thank you. So It looks like they have taken one of the panels from the Adventure Zone, Here There Be Gerblins, which is the first graphic novel from the Adventure Zone, with character designs by Carrie Peach, which Michael has also very kindly tagged in the Twitter upload. So much appreciate that, dude. Thank you for like calling out the artist who designed them. She deserves more love.
She's lovely.
She's great. And yeah, I love this series, so I'm excited. Oh my gosh. Yes, I know you. I know you because I recognize I've spoken to you before. Yeah, I've always loved this design. Like I feel like I recognize the way you draw. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's something in these drawings that I recognize as being your style. Yeah, this is wonderful. Thank you for the blocking, by the way. The blocking is a big help when it comes to looking at these poses and the animations. You've also got like a rotating background in here too. I'm wondering if that's 3D or something.
Like a blurred 3D.
But it definitely helps to sell that can move. Like this rotation is very convincing. Really nice. Like, and you basically just have keys in here, but they're all working and reading so well.
Getting that panel to flow into that one is the challenge here. And
yeah.
I think you've nailed it.
You have absolutely nailed it. That pan around and the little zoom in on Magic Brian, which is this villain's name for those who aren't aware. It's fantastic. Also, I love just the character you have in his expression here. In Taco's expression. Like, he really doesn't give an F. Like, he's so done with everything.
I believe Michael watches these on YouTube on the VOD, so yo,
you're
watching this later. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hello there from the past. The poses are so nice. Like, I mean, obviously the big note would be, I'd love to see this with in-betweens.
Yeah.
Because these key poses are all reading really well. The poses are nice, they feel convincing, the perspective is nice. Like, look how that arm goes back in space there and forward in space. Like, really, you obviously have a handle on it. Even the little transformations on the head, where his ear, which is furthest from cam, goes away, and the brim of his hat, like, tilts slightly. Super nice. I think these effects, you could sharpen them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, the blobbiness of the effects here doesn't really work to sell the feeling of this. Let me just get that off. There we are.
As a planning phase for this, though.
Yeah, as a planning phase for this is fantastic. So yeah, we're rotating round. Really nice arcs. Like, we have a nice little arc going on here with his head, where it like does a little swoop. You see it goes down here, and then starts to come back up there. What?
Imlet is saying, Tib, FX critique.
Tib, where are you? Nice rotation around the hand as well. Super nice. Like, I'm looking for things that I can critique, but this is very competent. Yeah, so here I think, because this next frame is really nice with these effects coming like from behind the camera, because I feel like they're super big going into small, like going into perspective, you know? But the previous frame, it also feels kind of like they're getting bigger going towards this side of the screen, the right hand side of the screen.
Yeah. Whereas
I think what you want is for them to be going away from the screen at this point.
Yep.
So I think if you focus on trying to make them feel like they're getting smaller as they go instead, and really like heading towards something off screen.
Yeah, you got the indication of the guy coming in there, so I would almost feel like they should be going slightly more into Z than perhaps you've got there.
Like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. And then I'll bring this one up too.
It's tough. It's tough because you both got a rotation and a movement. So whenever you have like things moving and the camera moving away or toward them as they're moving, the rates of movement between the two, sometimes you can have the camera move too fast and it feels like the thing that's moving slows
he's
down
not gonna get away with
as
this.
it eases back and forth. Dark Rising, thank you for the raid.
Thank you.
Welcome.
On the bright side.
Welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club. We're going through Anim Morning Challenge participants' entries, and at the moment we're looking at Michael Sardi's.
On this frame.
How was your stream, Dark Rising?
How was it?
You let us know. We're in the midst of something, so I would be more asking stuff, but yeah.
And then we have a nice little arc here with the way that Brian comes in. Again, he does a whoop. You can see his leg here, and then he swoops down and he's coming up again. And this is a great opportunity for an impact frame. As the magic contacts his armor and shoots off, this is like a great opportunity to have like a real like black and white impact frame where we get to see like the force of the blast against his armor and invert the lighting a little bit. Yeah, great, but everything feels very convincing. Like the character models feel very consistent and the pose is very believable. I think his armor would probably be a little bit more like this on this frame. Pop, 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 pop.
Good on
And
you,
look at
Swifty, by
this.
the way. Just all these drawovers. You a champ.
Aw. And look at this, like, even his hair goes with the motion because he's rising up here in camera. And then his hair is like, whoop, I'm catching up. And he's got this great little hair cycle going on while Brian holds to keep
Nice.
it alive.
Yeah.
Which will be nice for when, I'm assuming what you're going to have here is sparks disperse. And imagine, sir, if you were to finish this animation and you had like lighting on it too, and the
Yeah.
lighting were to like also shrink down as the magic disperses off.
That'd be really cool.
You know? I'd love to see this with lighting. And then it's that's such a great expression. I wonder if that was one of the key poses from the comic. And just like a very like fast time save there with Brian just traveling down, but it totally works and sells it as like a stand in between. And then Brian raises his staff. And I'd be interested to see what you would do the breakdown for with this. And the camera follows it. And then shoots. I feel like we could pull out of this much faster. Because this is a great frame to start with. But then I kind of want it to be like, "Wah! I'm firing at you with my staff. This is not what Brian's voice sounds like, but just imagine." And it's like, "Wah!" towards the camera, you know,
Yeah.
like that, except, you know, drawn competently. Let me just erase that bottom bit. You know, and I guess I'd have him slightly more 3/4 than I have him there, so it's really like firing toward the camera.
You could have a nice arc motion on the pull out as well. So rather than just coming like from boop to boop, you could have like it come around like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he spins in that depth but curves around to the right. So it's like boom.
Yeah.
Just
I don't want his hair effing going wild as well, because like it's blasting. It's blasting off again, man. Yeah, because this is such a nice anticipation, and we're closely on him for like a fair while. And we haven't done a pull out yet. We've done a rotation round, which is super nice. But then to do a pwah would be so cool. Like, I'd love to see that. It's very hard for me to find much else to critique on this because it's in its first stages of key posing, but it's very competent, very solid, very good. Like, I think it's great so far. It's wonderful. I want to see it proofed up. It's so cool. Just watch those effects. Make sure when you do a pass over them, you really sharpen them up. And do a lot of something Tib has been telling me is do a lot of thin to thick as well. So, for example, let me find a frame I haven't already drawn on. Instead of having your effects looking like this, like you really want to go with like more of this kind of thing, where there's like more variation in it and a bit splitting off from it to really give it that like crispy effect. How you choose to animate the magic is entirely up to you, but that's just general advice that I've been given on how to make things feel more exciting and dynamic.
This would be, I think, a magic missile spell, if I remember.
Yeah. That's why there are 3 of them.
Yeah. Abraca you.
Abraca fuck you. This is the part where he's like, maybe you'd like to see how I do a magic missile spell. Yeah, that's wonderful. Awesome work. Michael Sardi, thank you so much for taking part.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're on to Seba Solar, which was one I just saw this morning.
Nice.
Would you be able to pull up Twitter, Mike, and check what comic this is from?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember off the top of my head. So check this out, guys. What a fun loop. Like, this is another one which is like extremely like very, very competent, very great stuff. This is going to be, if I can think of any notes here, it's going to be nitpicking. And you chose something which was appropriate for the time as well. Like, a cycle like this is something which you can achieve in the time. And I like that. I feel like the motion is kind of more realised because you were able to spend a bit more time on it. You can see that the tail is only in keys at the minute, but it looks like the motion for that is going to work super nice.
So this is an animator panel from a comic book, and this is from Alejo Valdearina and Diego Greco's Dino Boy and His Magic Bag.
Dino Boy and His Magic Bag. So now you guys know what you need to look for. So to call out some nice things, we have some nice circles going on with the hands here. Let's see. You could probably make those circles a little bit smoother with the hands, particularly on the second one there. The screen right hand, I think, is working very well. The screen left hand, there's just like a little bit here where it feels like it almost does a swoop down and up and then around. I think you could, if you gave this a little bit more of an arc, you could get like a nicer circular motion out of that. Bring it down a little bit. And then it's up here.
Ah, I see it.
Yeah. Like, especially if you're trying to do like almost a figure 8 thing, you want to like sweep up a little bit more just here. It's very delicate work. Like, I think it was a good call of you to take the parts and manipulate them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that you did this in either Flash or Toon Boom. I think that was a very good call because the movements here are very subtle. So it's pretty difficult to get them right, completely right by hand, without going over it a couple of times. But yeah, I think that would give you a nicer round motion. But to call out something really cool, Like, as well as having these round motions with the hands themselves are also like dragging and tilting with it. So you see how as the hand comes round, it's rotating as well because it's about to drag.
Oh, they did it in After Effects.
Oh, nice. So we have this finger coming down here and then like dragging as it's pulled back up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. Like, really helps sell it. This little dude's animation, the central dude's animation, super energetic and fun. Really love this run cycle. Like, really nice arcs of motion. Like, check out the arcs of motion on this foot here as it kind of goes whoop. Like, beautiful. The squash and stretch on the body too. We have a stretch frame here and then a squash frame on the contact. Sorry, the weight position. The head rotation is nice as well. I really like the extended air time here. And then the, what is it, 2 frames on the ground? 1, 2, yeah. And then up into air time again. And one of my favourite parts. Check out these awesome smears, guys! Smears! Smears! Like, I love smears. And look at these. Like, they're really fun. They're super fun. And they really add a lot to the motion. Like, when you watch this through. Like, look how fun they are to watch. They really add a lot. Clever use of looping too here on the bottom to give the illusion of speed over this flat plane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's super cool. If I was gonna propose that you add something, then I would propose that you add a shadow. To really like place the character. You know, and you would have that shadow shrinking as he gets further away from it. And you could also like, if my eraser would work, also put like little speed lines in the shadow that are also like looped.
Ah, clever.
So you also like, you still get the feeling of the momentum.
And that the shadow is traveling over something.
Yeah, you'd probably want to give it more of a curve than I have given it there too, to show the curvature of the ground plane that he's on. But yeah, I think that would be a nice addition to really like ground this character in the reality. I'm interested in reading this comic book though. This looks really fun.
It really does, yeah.
I like the style of the character as well.
So that's Dino Boy and his magic bag.
Yeah.
Which is a fun title.
It is. Look how the head is being used for rotation as well with the nose there. Super nice.
Oh, super cool.
Yeah, it's super nice and solid. Like, I don't have too much to say about it because it's just really well executed. I like the little bounce here as well with the guy in the background. He has like this spooky little bounce from side to side where he like has a hard accent, or he has a hard corner here. I guess what I'm trying to say is that his spacing is closer in the middle, so he kind of pings off each side and it makes him look really jaunty, which I like. He's like evil and chasing this dude, but also he's kind of like jaunty about it. Everything is so playful and fun to look at. I think it's wonderful. Like, fantastic job. Great loop. I'd love to see this finished up and coloured as well. I'm very curious to see what this final character would look like as well, considering I've never read this comic before. Yeah, wonderful work, Sebasola. You did an awesome job. I love this. I hope that you take it a little bit further, because what you have right now is an extremely strong base to work from. Everything at the minute is working super well. Like, the small things I have to say about it are, like, again, they're very much nitpicks. You know, you have a great thing going here, and I hope to see more of it. Great work. And then we have Titan Robo Duck.
Titan Robo Duck!
Titan Robo-Duck!
I think if I give this a refresh before you start, India. Yeah, we have 2 more in the list so far, and I know that I saw Palbros on Twitter just now.
Palbros is there for me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Palbro at the end. I think we've got 3 more, and then.
Thank you for hanging in there with us, guys. We appreciate it. I think it was definitely a good call to spend this entire morning doing this. Yeah. Also, I think the maintenance people aren't coming.
I don't think they are.
This happens frequently, or used to when they used to come every 2 weeks. They would be scheduled by our flatmate, but then either wouldn't show up on time or wouldn't show up at all.
I mean, Tibbs is saying maybe they're not coming because of social distancing measures, and we agree. We've not had them coming for the last 6 weeks, so I was surprised when Declan was like, "Oh, they messaged me." So we'll see.
Yeah, like apparently Declan arranged with them to come, so it's kind of odd that they haven't without letting people know. I mean, it's fine with me. I personally would prefer to.
I prefer to do this.
Yeah, like this is better to me than having to like sit outside for 2 hours, and not be able to do anything. So let's have a look. This is Titan Robo-Duck, and do we know which comic they've done?
No, but they're there, so let us know, Titan Robo-Duck.
Yes, please let us know. So here we are.
Does Declan still have that jar of decaying batteries by his desk?
He sure does.
Yes. Oh. Wait. Enable sync playback? Sorry.
That's okay. If you guys missed that, I'm just going to start it again. Because something happened at the end which very much took me off guard.
Hang on, India. This isn't playing for me properly, so let me just refresh. Maybe I'll play it from this side?
Yeah, feel free to, please.
Let's see. Alrighty. So there are no shells left. It's almost out of gas. Finally, if we take this back, Wes is just going to tell us to booby trap it and leave it there, but looking at its functional. Man, I so wanted to do something fun with this. Wait, I have an idea. You hear something?
I knew it would get you too. Like, just that, like, we get 2 frames at the end of that explosion. I mean, it's very funny because of that. I feel like you might want to hold that end bit a little bit more, just so that it can register with people what happened. So, like, holy crap, one thing, this is this is a large amount for 3 hours, so, like, nice going, Robo-Duck, good job. Did Robo-Duck say what comic this was from, by the way?
Gone with the Blast Wave, maybe?
Gone with the Blast Wave. Okay.
I'm not sure, though.
So, first of all, I want to say, like, very, very good job on, like, trying to use perspective here. That is, like, using perspective is tough, and anyone who includes it in their work, like, we very much, like, it makes a big difference. And it's a really good thing to learn to do. Yeah,
being able to plot out all of your actions in a space really helps, and putting those floor grids down really does help you get more of a sense of the space you have to play in.
Yeah.
And for things to move away from and toward you.
Makes everything feel much more grounded, you know? It really helps make things feel convincing and like they're not just happening in a void. So, like, awesome job putting down these perspective grids. That said, I'm not 100% sure that the perspective on these background windows, I'm assuming they're either windows or, like, this is maybe a column attached to a ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's obscuring the light, and this is, like, the sky or something. I'm not 100% that they are working right now in the perspective. Let's see.
I think there's not enough information.
Yeah. I think it might be helpful to have a floor grid actually, like, put forward too. So you would, like, follow these lines here I am doing a really bad floor grid and not following the line. Perspective is something I'm also learning, guys. So you would follow this to get your floor grid. And it would be worth probably drawing it on your backgrounds as well. So that you can like really see where everything is meant to be. Obviously you'll draw it on better than this. This is me like just giving you the indication, but you would want to draw this on with like an actual ruler and straight lines. So having like these planes, if that's your horizon line, it'll be something like this, actually drawn onto your background, will be a big help in understanding how to interpret it, I think. Because at the minute, we're just for very simple lines. There's just not enough visual information for us to be able to really determine how accurate that is. Let's see.
Just putting a heart in chat because Guacanaka came over here because of seeing Habo's amazing animation.
Oh, nice.
Heart.
Yeah.
Big heart.
Big heart to you and to Habo, who is, I think we can all agree, an amazing animator and a good friend. A great person who deserves the world. Yeah, so I think something like this, like already this feels to me like a more convincing a space. But I think it needed those extra grid lines in there to really make it feel like it was a solid environment. What do you think, Mike? Does that help?
Yes, yeah, it does.
Your silence is worrying me.
No,
I'm like,
sorry,
I have
I'm
done
thinking
this okay, haven't I? I'm not giving bad advice here.
No, it's good. I think maybe what we're maybe seeing is that like they're, from your environment, I might have gleaned the fact that they might be in like a parking garage higher up, and that's how they just drive it off the edge.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like, sorry, my silence is me interpreting that and like thinking and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's because of the shot you have at the end. I better hold on. I'm gonna make sure that this grid doesn't stay on all the way through, so that it's there we go. Yeah, because this drops on them from above, and they look like they're outside a building here.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like perhaps this is meant to be an environment out here where it's got like an open air kind of. It's open to the air, you know?
Yeah.
So they can just drive it off the edge. So, let's see. So there are a couple of things I think that you could do to really amp this up. I don't know if the style of speech bubble is the same as in the comic because I'm not super familiar with the comic. But I think that you could do a similar thing to Habo, and I think it would help to sell the speech if you had those speech bubbles do a little bit of a pop-up, just to draw your eye to them, especially because the text in them is very small. I think you could scale that up overall. Again, you might be limited by what the actual comic itself is doing, but I think you could like go for something more like this and have it pop up, and it would be like a bit easier to read what's going on. Just because like the text is so small, like you kind of have to like lean in to see it.
Yeah.
See, I also feel like maybe this dude's head shrinks a little bit as he turns around.
And I'm looking at this on a 32-inch monitor.
Yes, you are.
So, well, TV, really old TV.
You know what? Maybe it doesn't, because this is the side of this, right? So, in actual fact, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, you want to look at your... You want to maybe keep this speech bubble a little bit closer to the center of the screen, just so that it's like easy for your eyes to ping to that. Maybe like there-ish. We'll just keep it like slightly further away from the very edge of the composition here. I always try to avoid having my lines connect with the edge of the composition, and give it like a nice little bit of buffer room, so that people tend to keep their eyes in the screen, in the middle of the screen, a little bit more than around the edges, so it makes it a little bit easier for your eyes to travel there faster. Yeah, for this pose, for example, like, obviously this is a huge amount to have done in 3 hours, so I commend you on that. If I was, again, to like nitpick a little and look at what I think you could change about this to make it better, if potentially you had more than 3 hours, I would say that you want to avoid reusing the bodies when the entire body changes pose.
Yeah.
So here we have him from behind, and when he turns round, we can see that we're repeating the collar and the arm line. Whereas I think you really want to just take the extra time to redraw those, because otherwise it can make the posing a little bit confusing. It's the same thing as animation tangents, which are a lot like just regular illustration tangents, where two lines intersect at a point that makes them confusing to tell which is overlapping the other.
Yep.
So, for example, when you have like a hand tangenting with a knee, and you're like, is the hand on the knee, or is it like just in a space hovering above the knee but just drawn that way?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure things are overlapping properly.
Particularly on frames that hold.
Yeah. On animations, you can get tangents between frames. So if you have one frame with a line somewhere, and the next frame has a different position, but that exact same line feels like it's in exactly the same place, it can make it more difficult to read the different poses, because your brain realizes that something is still the same, which confuses it for a second.
Is it like cognitive dissonance?
Yeah, a little bit. I
don't know if that's actually can be applied. Porky Boy, you're still here. Awesome, cool. Yours is coming up very soon.
Yes, we're sorry for the delay. Like, I want to make sure that I look over all of these properly. So yeah, just redrawing this will make it much easier to read as a new pose. You know, the only times I generally reuse between frames and keep something the same is when that thing is meant to be the same.
Yeah.
Like, because that's much easier than redrawing it, trying to redraw it exactly the same again. Whereas with this, because the entire body position is changing, you don't want it to be the same necessarily.
Yeah, you want to like refresh the idea.
Yeah, although you know what? Looking at this closer, we have this little antennae coming out the back here, and that rotates around.
Yeah.
So I think actually it's not completely facing the back like I thought it was. I think that this is more side on. In which case I think if you add a little eye there, so that it's clear that it's rotating between the frames, rather than like the stripe is helping too, then that would help. I still feel like the body needs to be a redraw though. There we go. Just because he's twisting his torso, not just his head. Which is shown in the fact that you've like redrawn the shoulders and the arms and such. That his torso is twisting. Also the fact that if his torso wasn't twisting, the antennae at the back wouldn't be circling around.
Yeah.
Good
detail.
It is a nice detail. That really helps sell the depth. Like, that was a great call to have that circling around like that. And then this one's fine. Look at this sphere frame. Awesome. Nice job, dude. Yeah, like if you were to in between this fully, because I know this is just key poses at the minute, which is totally fine. If you were to add in betweens, I'd love to see like a little hard accent or slow into that. And then we have this pose. So this is another one which pinged out to me as being one where you would want to redraw the body, because like he's throwing his head back and raising his shoulders. His arm feels like it's getting a little bit longer potentially. So I think you want to like...
If you'd like to know what hard accent is, India explained it earlier in this stream session.
Yes, I can explain it briefly again if you like.
No, I think it's like the VOD will be there. Keep going.
Okay. Well, essentially a hard accent just makes it feel more springy in your in-betweens and less like a smooth slide in. So yeah, I think you you want to avoid reusing the body here and really like throw that chest out. If he's leaning back, you know, push that chest forward like this. And if his shoulders are raising, then his elbows are going to be a little bit further up because his arms are a little bit further up. I think something a little bit more like that might feel more on model, just because it feels like his head and his hands grow a little bit. Also, I think to get more contrast, it might actually be nice to even ping his arms out further. Really go for like something like this. To really show his exasperation. Like, man! No, jeez!
Nice.
And then this dude, like, he just needs a little breakdown. I'd love to see him, like, his head duck down a little bit as it comes round. You know? Before it goes.
So he comes into it, so he's like, I have an idea.
Yeah, like.
It is funny, the deadpan sort of like, I have an idea.
It is. You could go with that more if you wanted. I do think you need some kind of in-between in there.
Yeah.
If you can squeeze it in the time. And then, yeah, the cut here. The main note that I have on this shot is that it feels very flat, which is great for comedy. But because you're kind of showing... You're showing the horizon line here. I think you need to have, like, a little bit of a feeling of perspective going on. Because you've implied it.
I don't know if that's meant to be another building, maybe.
Oh, you think it's meant to be the roof of something?
Yeah, I think so.
It could be the roof of something rather than the floor plane then.
Yeah, because I think this is flat on framing.
Yeah.
Judging by the building they're next to.
In which case, let me think. It definitely works better in that case, but I think it would be nice to have a little bit more of an indication. Like, say there's like a little gap between buildings. Here. Because a lot of animation and posing and making stuff like this is just about making it like as clear as possible what people are looking at in the shortest possible amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So like imagining that this is in perspective here, having like, because we're like, what, this is at eye level?
Yeah.
So we might just see the very bottom slither of this. If it's got a rim. Like, even that much would like really help to just sell the perspective, and breaking up this bottom line with like a bit of trash or something. I like the use of this foreground element. That's very clever. Both to overlap this and add depth, which makes a big difference, and also to overlap them and hide their feet, because feet are a pain to animate when you have to draw someone walking.
Yeah.
So that was a very smart choice, and I like the way that it adds this extra level into it, and the way, like, especially the way this overlaps. I think you want a few more things just overlapping here, just to like show. I really want to show this is a building, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As much as possible. Like, I'm not exactly sure what the building looks like because there's not very much information to go off. But assuming it's the same kind of building that was there, it might have, for example, like this going back.
Yeah, and then you would link the ideas together.
Yeah.
Titan Robo was actually saying it was at the 2.5 hour mark, so that is why it lacks detail. That's fair.
I completely understand. Like, you've done a huge amount in 3 hours, so you should be very proud. And then, yeah, the last bit, this tank falling, which I love, I adore. I think you really wanna sell this, I think. So I would just advise adding maybe like 10 to 20 frames on the end here, where we really get to see like this smoke disperse.
It'd be cool to have like really forceful like ear. I'm doing it for India.
What, like?
Like impact. Sorry, impact spikes up, so you really feel the force of it, like the tank coming down and it throwing things up. Be fun. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember also what we said last week about keeping your explosions too symmetrical. Remember that you want to like really throw the symmetry off. You don't want it to feel too regular. Like you want to give it like some interest.
I think look at the angle of the tank and see that like one side is gonna it's gonna like there's two faces to the tank. There's the long side and the short side. So use that as a guide for like how to. Oh wait, I imagined that it is coming straight down.
It is coming straight down.
Don't know why I thought it was an angle.
But yeah, I really want to like see this just explode. It's great. So yeah, nice job, Titan RoboDuck. I'd say to move forward, focus on like really laying out the roadmap of the environments that your characters are in, because it'll really help you like push away from more flat compositions, and try to push that posing a little bit if possible. Yeah.
Yep.
And
see you, Habbo.
Now we're on to Porky Boy.
Porky Boy!
See you, Habbo. So Porky Boy has also done Curl in the Glim, and I saw this for the first time this morning, and again, trigger Weepy India. Thank you very much for making the tears spring forth from my joyous heart.
Aww.
So, I mean, I'm going to say straight off the bat, this is lovely. And I'm going to give it a play so you guys can see. So amazing, like different to Habbo's, but like it has its own spirit that I really like. Like one of the things I like the most is this panel. Like you've added so much more life to this panel than was in the comic. And it's fantastic. I don't know if I had this face in the comic, but I love this. Like this eye dart. It's amazing. Like it's so fun. Like we've got a blink there to show that her thought process is changing. And then a realization. And then we have this nice like settle into this expression with the eyes keeping it alive as she looks around. Like the thing I like about this one a lot too is that whereas Habbo's went straight into the fantasy and went all fantasy, this is almost like it's the juxtaposition between what she wishes was happening and what's actually happening, both happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So what's actually happening is that she's super nervous and worried and panicking. And what she wishes was happening was that she was tackling it super well. Look at that beautiful frame. Oh! Yeah!
That anticipation's really nice.
It is, and like the foreshortening on these arms, the way that they're coming forward, that's real nice too. Like very convincing there on the hands coming forward. It's not an easy thing to do to push things forward in perspective like that. It takes like a certain level of draftsmanship to pull off. I like the way that you are also like the hair is coming up here and pushing backwards. Like this. There we go. Super nice. Really nice movement there. I think you could trail it a little bit here if you wanted to. Just like have the end whip around a little bit.
Would that obscure the expression though? Sorry to be contradictory. But...
No, like that's a very good point. Like you'd want to try and make it not.
Yeah, I see it there.
So you'd have to like work with it like this to make sure you don't obscure the expression too much.
I see it now, yeah.
And then you would go back into this frame.
That commentary was just me trying to understand as well, like stuff.
Yeah. No, and then as you see it like kicks back a little bit, which is super nice. Really love this. Also, you guys are just spinning chalk. You're really good at it. I really like these little impacts you've added as well here. These are really fun. I never would have thought of adding these. But it's like, it's a very comic touch.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm just highlighting them in green so people can see them super well. Like that, super nice. Like really adds some spark to the movement as well. And look at this slow ease on the hand. Again, we're seeing the contrast. So we have these incredibly tight in-betweens on the hand as it's very slowly rotating around. And then we have these fast in-betweens and these spear drawings of this chalk. And the thing I love about animation too is you can get away with murder.
I think I saw the bottom of the ink chalk is sort of, there's one frame there maybe where it's like blending with the palm of the hand. I would maybe overlap that a little bit.
Okay, you would have the chalk overlap the palm like that. No,
because you see they're overlapping the palm as well.
Yeah, you could do that and then have it bam into the hand there. Nice smear frame there, by the way. Well, one of the things I was saying in Getting Away with Murder is that, I mean, that's not how you spin chalk. Like, just keeping your hand open. But, like, the motion is super convincing. You've got this really nice anticipation here. And then you kick straight into this. Like, these are ones, yeah. You kick straight into it with ones. Just open that hand right up. And then the momentum keeps the chalk spinning. So it's not realistic, but it's sure as heck is believable.
It's fun.
Yeah. Screw realism, right? And then look at this. So here, Porky Boy has grabbed it. And then we have an overshoot and then a back. So there's a tiny little stutter. And if you like close your fist really hard, you'll see that you overshoot then bounce back. Yeah. Because you're keeping your muscles tense. So that gives a real feeling of the force. That tiny little rebound there. Like, I don't know if you can see it clearly. I hope you can.
I can.
But there's like, I hope people on the stream can. But there's a tiny little rebound there which really like sells the force. And then look at this, clever. So you know I was talking about how you can have tangents in between frames.
Yeah.
Well, you can have tangents unintended between frames, and you can also repeat shapes between frames to make things feel smoother than they are.
Right.
So here, the hand flips from being palm up to being side on, which is a really big movement. But the thing which carries it is the repetition of this shape here.
Ah, okay. So you kind
and
of
the overall shape. So you see how this angle here becomes this.
Oh.
Yeah, and you see how this angle here, becomes this. So you're repeating the shapes.
But the whole the
this
form
angle
of
here,
it is changing.
So the shape as a whole feels quite similar, even though the drawing itself is very different, which makes it feel super smooth between the two, even though there's drastic changes happening.
So you're kind of subliminally, or like you're kind of seeing those shapes transition over, even if like those are matching to the way you're seeing it rather than seeing the whole thing.
Yeah, your brain is looking at the overall shape and the big landmarks more than it's looking at the individual details.
And you can see the chalk as well is only moving slightly.
Yeah.
With that motion, even though it's a bit like it's a rotation, so it could have went too far. Yeah. Ooh.
So like that's super cool, really nice.
Can you write repeating shapes on the frame? Just.
Thank you for reminding me. I sometimes forget that if you look back over these notes, some of them are just going to be scribbles, like insane scribbles. Repeating shapes. Add smoothness.
give it a star as well.
Okay, sure thing.
Whoa, I'd never knew that before.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a cool technique when you want to get from one pose to another pose and the two poses are quite different. You need to go a long way.
But you have those like anchor
replicating the
points.
shapes as much as you can
Mm-hmm.
will mean that your brain will gloss over it and
Okay.
see it as smooth. And then look, we have this little drag on the finger here now.
I
The
think you'd
shape
have,
is distorting.
I think you'd have to ask Porky, Solar Sabbath.
What?
They said, are those things intentional or are they second nature to the person who animated this?
I think they have to start off as intentional either way. So even if these were done subconsciously, at one point the artist would have learned like that this is a good thing to do. So we get like this nice shape distortion now, which is letting us know. Like I might want to add just the shape of it going off screen here, because you've set up this nice wave motion. It'll be more like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, you set up this nice wave motion, and just to finish it off and like sell it, I think you want to have that.
So it doesn't flash.
Yeah.
Disappearing.
Have the last part of that just telegraphed to people, so it really feels like they've got that. You've got that wave motion happening. So here's Midge coming in. I really love this frame. That's such a fun frame. Like, you could have her come in with her head more down and then ping up,
Porky
so
Boy,
that there's like an arc on the nose that goes like this. Or you could keep it the way you have it, which is more like the nose is rotating around like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Porky
up to
Boy
you.
said subconsciously, I think, but not having the shape pop was sort of my goal there.
Yeah.
And Tib says sometimes it's possible to do these things by accident or intuitively without thinking about why it works, but knowing why it works and how to do it effectively will help you put it into practice, which will help you, once you put it into practice, will help you do it
Deliberately.
subconsciously. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
That's why deliberate practice and repetition and really like thinking about what you're doing as you're doing it and repeating it, not just being like, yeah, like Porky Boy saying it just felt right. Like if you're just scrubbing through the motion and you're watching it, any kind of those snags or those pops where you're like something about that can be improved, you're learning why animation feels good to you at certain points because
This
of
is
those,
why
those
it's so
knowledge.
helpful to look through them like this, you know?
If you've ever read the book Subtle Knife, it makes me think of that, where there's a character who has a knife and they can drag their knife through the air and they feel snags in the air for where they can cut into and make a portal, but they're just like sensing and feeling it out. It's just that building that gut kind of like, oh, that feels like a snag, or oh, that feels like it could be improved here.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like there's a lot in the gut, you know, about animation. There's a lot of feeling that goes into animation because it's an art, you know, there's no precise answer. There's a million different ways you could animate something, and finding what feels right to you is part of what makes up your style as an animator.
Yeah,
But analyzing
correct
things like
way.
this, like, it helps to solidify the ideas in your head, because you might know these things but not saying them out loud and not seeing them in other people's work.
Mm-hmm.
It can be sometimes difficult to ingrain them within and remember to use techniques like this yourself.
Yeah.
But like Tib says, becoming aware that you're using them or aware that they exist is the first step to being able to deliberately implement them, and then
Yeah.
eventually just subconsciously deliberately do it because you know it's going to work.
It's almost like you don't know what you don't know. You start to know what you don't know. You know what you didn't know, and then you forget what you've known.
Well, the way that I always liked it was it's unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know, you know, that you are missing a bunch of stuff.
Mm.
Then conscious incompetence, you realize that you're missing a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then conscious competence, I'm going to make a conscious effort to get better because I know I have things to improve.
Yeah.
And then unconscious competence, where I've done this enough now that it's become second nature to me, and I know what things will work with this, or which things have the best chance of working, you know?
That's a really good way to frame it.
I didn't come up with that.
It's still a really good way to frame the thinking.
So this is a beautiful anticipation for the anticipation that's not going to happen. She's going to squash down. So she's pinging up. This frame is super appealing. And then we have a smear frame where she goes down into this little mischievous expression. And the camera's also zooming out here. So she's not losing... I keep wanting to say meat, but that's such a weird way to put it. She's not losing dimensionality.
Volume?
She's not losing volume, thank you. She's not losing volume, but the cam is zooming out, which is why she's getting smaller. I'd say the eyebrows here, rather than have them like kind of smear into it, I might be tempted to just like ping them up even higher. So the eyebrows have like another anticipation before they just slam down, they hammer down. Again, that's about doing kind of opposing action. So her face is traveling down and smearing. Her eyebrows are still traveling up in anticipation. So brows and face. And then we have opposing action.
Le petit monom, thank you for the follow.
And again, this helps to add texture and interest to your shot, because it means not everything is moving at the same rate. And I think that makes a funnier expression on this frame. Unfortunately, that's often my reason for doing things, is just I think it makes a funnier expression on this frame, is a frequent excuse for me making things the way they are. So yeah, then we have this nice little squash down. It's an ease, and she's coming out of it here. Like, I'd be tempted here, between these two frames, because the shapes are so similar. We're getting an animation tangent. Here you are, guys. So, this line here, very close to this line here. And it makes it feel like her head is shrinking in a strange way rather than getting further away.
Okay.
So, what I'd suggest doing is changing up that frame a little bit more. So I'm seeing that you're having her coming backwards here. So I'd suggest maybe having her just come backwards a little bit more.
Tibbs is making fun of you. Make
How
sure you
dare.
pay attention to Midge's juicy sirloin. Don't want to lose the meat.
Oh, it's because like I think I read in a book somewhere once that that the person I was reading the book of was referring to it as keeping the same amount of meat in different shots. It might have been Richard Williams. And ever since then, every time I think about maintaining volume, the word that comes to my mind is meat. And like it always makes me stutter, because every time I try to talk about it, it's like it feels so weird to talk about someone's meat.
Yeah.
You know?
I just want to address, Solispa says, Doig Swift, where can I read your comic? I didn't know of it until now, and watching these animations made me really interested in it. So I've linked you there. We have a digital version of the comic that's available on our Big Cartel at the moment. It's €5. It's for 60 pages. It was written and illustrated by Swifty, and I did the colors. You don't need that extra information or anything.
It's part one. Is one thing. So the story is not complete yet.
Yeah.
But that is book one, and I'll be making book two later this year. Woohoo! Also, we're not taking any physical orders in our shop at the minute, just because it's like we don't want to post anything off at this time. What with the virus going around.
And I keep forgetting, but it's currently on a reduced. It's on sale, and I haven't told anyone. But I'm telling you guys now, so you know, get in while you. I'm shit at salesmanship, but you know, it's usually about €8 to buy digitally. It's usually €12 to buy the physical copy, but it's €5 right now because we want to give people something to read while they're all, you know, quarantined and everything.
Yeah.
And I meant to
shout that out.
Shout that out.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Now people here know. So yeah, I would move this head backwards a little bit more. so that we are maintaining that lovely loop that you have going back there. But I would also push down the fringe there using that so that there's not as much of a repeated an animation tangent. So watch for frame to frame. Like, I'm not sure if there's a proper name for these. Frame to frame tangents. And the way to avoid them is just to make sure that those lines don't overlap between the two drawings.
Nice catch. Wait, nice receive.
Oh, nice to receive.
That's better. Yeah.
We've been watching a lot of Haikyuu.
Thank you so much, Josie, for the host. You take care now and sleep well. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming by.
I think you could push this hand forward just a little bit more. Again, these are nitpicks. There's not much I can say about this animation because it's fantastic. I think you could push that forward just to like really exaggerate the arc back that you have here with the hand coming in. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at this. It's fantastic. I love the way that you're using the foreshortening here. Ah, the sparks and the butterflies and everything as well. And we just have a nice ease to finish off the motion, which is super nice.
Just want to say a big thank you to Tibbs for grabbing all these clips for us. Really appreciate that, Tib. Sorry, and also very much sorry for the like zero notice for doing it.
Yeah, we promise that we won't make that a habit.
No, I'll make sure I learn how to use YouTube-DL to grab these.
Yeah. Next time there will be no work for you to do. We promise.
Yeah, you've really helped us this morning to make this possible. So.
Get lovely drag on the nose.
You all like Tib is starting to stream and stuff. Do you want me to give you a little shout out, Tib?
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Because last time they streamed doing the drawovers that we did last week. So if you all are interested in
like this motion here.
Tib was the lead FX animator on the music video that we worked on, Starlight Brigade.
Yes.
So they're full of good know-how.
Yeah.
About
he knows the stuff for sure.
About animation, anime, general tech stuff, coding. Like just a wonderful person to talk with about stuff. Very, very, very helpful.
Super open with her knowledge.
See, she's gonna help me with YouTube DL. She's cool.
She's too kind.
Should go follow her. Check her out on Twitter as well to see her work. Just be cool. She's cool. Be cool. You be cool. You're all cool. You're a great community of cool people.
May I now continue?
Sorry.
I just noticed that the sleeve disappears a little bit, so watch sleeve. I was going to say the motion here on the end, this ease in, is very regular. But that doesn't matter because you have this wonderful texture being added here by these sparks, which are all moving at a different rate, and these butterflies. Like, they really offset one another well, and they make it feel nice and varied because of that. It's beautiful. This is just beautiful work. I love it. You've done a wonderful job.
Porky Boy, did you stream your process on this on your Twitch? Because I know you did it last time, I think. I'm trying to keep in my head all the names and stuff. You did. Cool. Go check out Porky Boy's channel for the VODs if you want to see how they approach doing this.
This is lovely. This is really nice. Like, fantastic job. Really nice interpretation of the comic. Gorgeous motion. Really fun. Love that little anticipation before she pings up there. It's got so much life and fun to it. You guys are spoiling us with your amazing skills here. Wonderful. Thank you so much for submitting it, and thank you so much for choosing Girl in the Glim. I can't tell you how much it means to my heart to see this. It's really moving, and it makes me wonder why I'm doing it as a comic.
You're doing it as a comic because
it's
that
the
was
only
the
way
way
to
for
get
you
done
to
on
tell
time.
the story.
Yeah, I know, but look at this. Don't you want to see this all animated?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're pinging over to a Powbro fella.
India. Doig and Swift animated. Or
Yeah.
not reanimated, or whatever non-reanimated is.
What about it?
Just putting that out there.
I'm making one.
I'm not telling you.
Oh. Well, I'm making one. Yay.
Yay!
So, Pal Bro! Yay! It's awesome to see your work.
Oh, this is very definitely...
This is Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
100% recognize the style.
Do you know what my brain just went? It was like, you know what this is. This is. And then it just went Steven Universe, Steven Universe, Steven Universe. And I'm like, no, it's not.
So as you see, this is the Steven Universe character Lapis Lazuli. And
it's like, get out of my head. This is, yeah, Scott Pilgrim versus
Scott Pilgrim
the world.
versus the world.
I think it's just the world and the universe. Just like, my brain just was like...
Out of the two of us, you're the ones who owned those books. So
No, I didn't.
did you never own them?
I've never read it.
Wow, I'm thinking of someone else then.
Who are you thinking of?
I don't know.
Did you just like put another person's entire identity and transplant it onto mine?
I definitely
and you
did.
thought you've been with
Because your
someone
entire
else this whole
identity to
time.
me is the fact that you owned these books.
Well, I don't know what else you think about me that's not true.
I think that you're cute, and that is true.
That's subjective.
That doesn't matter. I
You
still
can't
think
say
it.
that's truth.
It's true to me.
It's your truth.
Yeah.
Okay. I can accept that.
It's also my truth that you own all of the Scott Pilgrim books, apparently.
No, I really don't.
It's not true. But I haven't read these. But I can tell from the style immediately, like, you've done a really good job of nailing this style down, Palbro.
Jaffel, thank you for the follow.
Let's have a
Continue.
look through.
And he just gave me a look.
Whoa! Palbro, this is badass!
Holy shit, dude.
Holy shit, dude. Look how cool this is, guys. Whoa. You've nailed that style all the way through as well. And one of the things I do have to call out first of all is the way that you have used the... What do you call the sound effects? The sound effects from the comic. And you've animated them in a way that says snap. Like,
Yeah.
you can hear the snap because of the way you've animated it. You've animated it in a way that feels like snap, which I love. You haven't just pinged up the sound effect there and had it on screen and then disappear. You've animated it in such a way that it kind of illustrates the feeling of the word, which I love.
Really clever.
So you could have just zoomed in. You could have just used a camera and zoomed in.
But you didn't.
But you went hard, and I appreciate that, because what we get with that is we get the distortion on the
legs.
you get the distortion on the character as the camera zooms in and things get closer and further away, which is something that you normally see people take shortcuts on by just pinging the camera closer, but it adds so much dynamism and drama. It makes this feel like such an iconic moment to really have the camera feel like it's traveling closer to her, and she's this 3D form where as things get closer to the camera you can see them like enlarging and stretching out. It's wonderful. So like this anticipatory pose here of her clenching her fists, like I really like the consistency you've kept in the face here as it goes too, because the eye's very intense here and definitely like a focus. That's a tiny issue there where the arm disappears, but I can tell that that's not like, oh yeah, I thought the arm should go behind here. That's you just like forgetting to put that in there. And then we have this. Like, I would love to see a vibration on this as she's pulling, because you know, like when you're pulling a rope, there'll be like a vibration on your arms because you're pulling super hard, but the rope is providing you resistance. I would love to see that in here. That's something which is really hard to do though with camera moves specifically, because the thing is, whenever you have a large movement, it tends to overshadow the smaller movements, which is why it's sometimes hard to see small movements that are contained within a larger movement. And with a large movement like a camera zoom, if you have small micro movements within that, like vibrations, you can just miss them completely.
Yeah.
They become disguised by the larger movement. So it would be a very hard thing for you to do, but I think it would be super cool. I really like the distortion here. Like, you see the squash and stretch between the cuff shapes here?
They're also using it on the clothing as well, which is cool. You feel it like the body stretches as well.
Yeah, these lines of cloth, these fold lines on the cloth, showing like that stretching out as her shoulders like push apart and push backwards as she's like trying to pull her wrists apart.
Yeah.
That squash and stretch is really satisfying though. I love the fact that she's pulling from her elbows as well, because a lot of people would try and have her pull from her hands, but because her hand movement is limited and because she's trying to get the most power, she would pull from the elbows.
There is two things happening here that's really cool, is that she is showing just how like strong she is, because she's not the anticipation isn't like pressing both hands together and then using like a quick movement.
Yeah,
it is pulling on the whole
movement.
tension and then just like able to just do it with just strength alone. And that's sort of like keeping the hands still like that shows that, because she's just pulling from like just it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
And keeping the hands still like that, or like small movements with that, helps you read it as well as the zoom in. Like, you know where you're meant to be looking, just this area here.
Yeah, it's lovely. It helps that they are center shot as well. You know, we're zooming in, and this is like the center of the shot here that we're zooming into. So we naturally look over there. So yeah, I'd say be careful of this arm losing a little bit of volume compared to this one. I realize that you can't see what I'm looking at. The screen right hand losing form in comparison to the screen left arm.
Yeah,
there we go. Just because I feel like it's getting a little bit thin in comparison.
Oh, we still here? We still live?
And then you had this lovely... Are we still going? I don't want to say stuff if it's not going through.
Yeah, I think we might have effed.
Oh no. Right on the last one.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just check something. It still says we're good and like OBS is fine, but last time it did this, we streamed 2 hours of Sonic accidentally, so...
What do you mean we streamed 2 hours of Sonic accidentally?
To our YouTube. So I'm just making sure that we haven't like hopped over it. Like, I think we're okay.
Oh really? Did we have people on YouTube?
I have no idea, but it was there and I found it and I was like, ah, shit.
Oh man.
Refresh, but still nothing. Let me see. Twitch tells me that it's excellent, so
but we're still not live.
Yeah.
Oh no. What's going on?
I'm not sure. It's Twitch? It crashed everywhere. Twitch crashed everywhere, says Orlando.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow, okay. Okay. Oh, we back.
Hey, we back. So Twitch crashed everywhere, apparently.
Interesting. Well, we'll have recorded into YouTube, so you can hear us in the VOD just being like,
What's going on?
everything seems fine. I don't know how to fix this.
Yeah. I'm glad it seems to have fixed itself.
Wow.
Are we good to continue?
Let me just get like I've refreshed just to make sure that the feed and everything's back up, so that we can see it. Yes, I think so. I think we're good.
I also just want to say, like, Palbro, this is very clean work.
The inking style is very reminiscent of the comic itself.
It's beautiful. I think it's amazing that you managed to get this clean in the time. I think that's awesome. So, you see here we have this really, really nice recoil on the left-hand side arm. I feel like we could get the same thing with the right-hand side arm. Is what I'm thinking. Because that recoil is so nice, you know? Kind of feel like I want it to be here as well, if possible. Let's see if we can get it.
Barbara's like, yes, thank you. I'd want more recall on the right side too. Sad face.
Oh,
sad
no.
verb.
I don't know how much you were limited by the comic panels as well. Because this is a comic I have not read. So I'm not conscious of like what exact part this is. But like something like that, maybe, to really get some recoil on there. Gosh, Sync Sketch is so good.
To be able to do this and
Yeah.
get feedback, yeah.
And then we have it settle back in here. There we go. With that snap dispersing. Really love that snap.
Lawrence, hey, how's it going, man?
I think it would be nice too if you see these little links that are still left on her cuffs. If they like settled down in this pose, because I still feel like they're kind of suspended by something. They're kind of still floating toward the center. Whereas if you settle them down so like they're more like they're just hanging dead, I think that would really sell too, that she's like destroyed these cuffs. It's a bit easier to see if I take the black out. Is what I'm realizing, just because the line art's quite thick. Which is super nice for the look of the animation. There we go. So to have these like settle and limp in there, I think would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got like a little vibration happening on the hands here, which is quite nice. Only on the left hand side hand, which pulls out, overshoots, settles back in, goes out again, settles back in. So I don't know if you'd want to either like maybe replicate that on the other hand or smooth it out so that it's more like a settle. I dig it either way. Like I think you could take it either way with that. Whoops. There we go.
I'm just going to refresh to grab. Tibbs has just added Rolando's animation at the end.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
There we go.
Let's see if I can move this. I want to see if I can move this frame.
Is this choke
There we go.
choke me? Let me just delete this.
Okay. Have we not taken it off yet?
Nope.
There we go.
It's
Such
funny,
a beautiful
but
animation. Yeah, I think that recoil helps a bit.
like this one.
This is such a nice, beautiful piece of animation. I really love this.
Please allow Sync
It's
Sketch
got
to
such a
control your
great-
timeline video. Enable sync playback.
It's got such a great feeling to it.
Sorry, I might need to play this one as well. I don't know if it doesn't like certain like fast actions or something. But let me click on it and play it. It might just be because we're both on the same link. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay.
Yeah?
You just loaded it onto someone else's.
What?
Can you stop clicking stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. It just loaded onto Pabro's for some reason.
Well, I hadn't finished going through it.
Oh, sorry. I thought we jumped over. I'm really sorry. I'm really
That's
sorry.
okay.
I got confused.
No worries.
Sorry.
I was just saying that it's super nice and it really has a good feeling about it. So yeah, just watch the screen right arm, I'd say. Make sure that maintains the volume throughout, and yeah, maybe I like that that recoil you have on the left arm there, where it like shudders a little bit. Maybe you can replicate something similar on the other arm. I think this is wonderful, though. I think it's basically there. It's a really beautiful piece, Pablo.
Good job, dude.
Oh, one thing I just saw then. Watch out for a little pop with the eye shape here. It's a little bit rounder on the next frame. And since like that's one of the places that people are going to look, you're going to want to make sure that that bit's one of the most consistent, which I think you currently have. So like honestly, this is very consistent, like great job on it. But things like, yeah, the eyelash here and such. If only I could get the right colour. There we go. I want to thicken that up so it's comparable between all the keyframes. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, really, really nice work. Gorgeous. Thank you, Pablo, for submitting this as well.
Hey,
Makes me
Evelyn.
want to read Scott Pilgrim now. Like, this is epic. I hope that you can like find time to maybe finish cleaning it up and colour it, because I think that would be amazing. I'd love to see this with flat colours because the line art is so bold and fun. Yeah, lovely. Look at that. Great. Bah.
I think there's one frame where the eyes feel like they grow a little bit too fast. That one.
This one here.
Yeah. I don't know if that was something that you feel like should be smoothed out, or whether it adds to the kind of like...
I mean, I didn't see it, so like I'm okay with it, but
Okay.
I think it's something good that you've caught there.
Yeah.
So watch the eye size here. There we go. Yeah. Lovely.
Boy.
That's some delicious animation right there. All right, and now we have Rolando's. So, which comic is this from? Mike.
I don't know. Sorry, I didn't realize you were asking. I thought you were asking Rolando.
Oh, I can't see the chat right now.
Rolando, what comic is this from?
Let's give it a play.
Emma After Story.
Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, beautiful drawings. I like that this is a very quiet moment. Like, it's a nice one to choose for just, you know, naturalistic human movements.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's have a look. Let's go through this frame by frame. So she inhales here, and I really like this inhale. That's super nice. It tells you so much.
Yeah.
I think it might be nice to have the hand maybe a little bit more tilted down here, so we get a little bit of the hand raising up too. So if we just tilt that a little bit. Maybe I need to use a different colour for this. One sec. So hand tilt it down a little bit, and then here it's tilted up. And let me just move to the right place. See, I'm learning to use Sync Sketch, guys. Slowly I'm figuring out.
Sorry I've been so quiet on this stream. Just letting Swifty give you that good knowledge.
Okay. So there. And then this is the part that I feel like you could particularly like change up a little bit. It's a beautiful drawing, but in terms of the continuation between these two, I don't think you necessarily need to have her with the cigarette still in her mouth, but that inhale to me is like an anticipation, and then seeing the pose with her mouth open makes me feel like she's already blown out the smoke.
Yeah, I think you need to have it there, and then you can have the hand come down.
I think
Explode.
Yeah, I think what you want is you want her mouth closed on this frame, because she hasn't let the smoke out yet. And then you could have her head tilted a little bit up and her eyes closed like they are on the previous frame. So let me I'm trying to make this like convincing so you can see the tilt of the head a little bit. Like, these drawings are so beautiful that if I don't draw a little bit on it, you're not going to be able to really tell what's happening in what I'm suggesting to you to do. So that means her hair would be raised a little bit just here. Her ear might be down a little bit. Chin might be up a little bit. Okay. I didn't count on the I did not count on the camera move, but we'll just have to imagine it's not there. So I don't suppose I can actually just move these. No, that was not a move command. That tracing paper. Okay, that's all right. So basically what I'm saying is if you raise her head a little bit here, close her eyes and keep her mouth closed, then when she exhales here, there's going to be more of a contrast, and it's going to link in with this more, because you can see here that her eye feels like it's closed. And then keeping that mouth closed and opening on the exhale will mean that you don't, like I did, get confused and think she's already exhaling on this cut. Like Mike said, you could take it further if you wanted. You could actually have...
Bring the hand down. Solar Seba says maybe her mouth could be like when you're making a bee sound, like she was about to release them smoke.
Mm-hmm. It's a good suggestion. You could definitely do that too.
Tibbs made a joke that maybe if more people had colored their challenges, I'd have more to talk about. So I said...
There's no time.
It's like, would any of you... Yeah, I know, in the 3 hours. I asked if anyone would be interested in like a color animating challenge. Maybe to break it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
It
was like #HughesDay challenge. We're not doing Hugh's Day. I'm just...
That's not a bad idea though, Mike.
Yeah.
What would that entail, do you think?
Oh, I'd have to think. But I wouldn't mind getting in on it.
Okay, well maybe next time that's what we'll do.
Do you have a theme for this week in mind, don't you?
I do, yeah. But I'm happy to do a colour challenge if you can think of what you would want it to be.
Give me a week to think on it.
I keep accidentally grabbing that.
You go for the one you had planned for today.
Okay, let me take that off. I think that's why I keep accidentally grabbing it. There we go. So the hand would like tilt a little bit probably. And that would bring this shoulder up. And then she'd lower it and rotate it towards her.
Oh, Hinka Pink Heart. I just I wouldn't want to do Hugh's Day because then it puts it into Tuesday, and then we want to have enough time on our streams to make our own stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. I think on this frame, keep the smoke coming outwards, because this left-hand side smoke starts to come in a little bit. And I think you want it to keep like dispersing like it does on the right-hand side.
Yeah. Because it would be being
going.
pushed by the outward exhale of the breath.
Yeah. Beautiful. Like, this drawing is so nice.
Oh,
And I really like this
Declan.
the transparency you have lingering over the smoke here. It makes it really feel like it's, you know, fading into the mist of the cold air. You know, and in this, I would love to see the old woman like putting out the match by like shaking it. Because here you see she's lit her cigarette successfully, and then it just goes out. The match. I'd love to see her like just give that a shake to put it out first. I think that'd be a nice piece of acting you could do, especially since she has such a nice quiet moment here. Yeah, beautiful, really lovely, nice and limited in the time, which means you've got like quite a lot done in the time too. The drawings are really nice. One thing I always like to make sure I do, and it obviously depends on the style that you're doing, because some manga, they draw people like this, and it's like just part of the style. But I always like to have that mouth attached to the chin in a way that the chin will move with the bottom lip. So let me just move this frame backwards to when she first opens her mouth. There we go. There we are. So it feels more like it's actually the face shape is responding to what the mouth is doing, rather than the mouth being more like just a drawing pasted on top.
Hey Prep Bros, how are you?
Hey Prep Bros. Good morning, or I guess afternoon for you?
American time is probably very, very early in yeah. Solar Sebas, James Gurney, yes, he's the Dinotopia guy, but he has a couple of books called Color and Light and Imaginative Realism. They're really good resources in learning how light influences coloring and how color is affected by light. It's really important to balance those two in your knowledge, because they're sort of interwoven with the way that we actually perceive the world around us. Like, the reason we see color is because of light bouncing off of objects. So you really can't learn one without the other. And by pairing those two, the books are structured in such a way where it gives you like chapters that really let you focus on one aspect of it, digest it, and then try and apply it. And he shows examples in paintings where someone has really used that aspect of color. Like, it might be like a monochromatic palette, or in another he'll tell to you about like gamut. I don't know how to say the word gamut, Gamut, but it's I read through it and it's just really, it's really easy. He doesn't overcomplicate things, and it's really nice pacing. Because I think with some books you can get really overwhelmed, where I think he's structured it in a really nice, approachable way. He's been writing a blog for years and updating it like every day. James Gurney is just like a treasure trove of stuff. So if you never come across his writing or his work, much just recommend. Another person that's if you're more 3D minded and you want to learn about color and light, then I would recommend Sam Nielsen. He's part of Schoolism, and he's the way he paints and renders is like because lights are additive, he approaches it as if he's like a 3D renderer, with like adding one light pass in a layer, adding a secondary light pass, adding a third, and really building the forms up that way. Yeah, I'll let India get back to her thing.
Thanks. So the note I was just making there is that in this shot, because I can't see the background, I'm not 100% sure of the angle, but it does feel like here the heights are a little bit more comparable to here. So I'm suggesting perhaps moving the old lady up a little bit in the second shot here, so that she's more like waist height for the lady. I think that would help. Also, it's just like she's so close to the bottom of the screen there, I think it would help. I like this vast expanse of sky, so I don't want to change the composition. But I do think moving it slightly more into the centre will help bring your eye to her a little bit more. And make it tie into this shot a little bit better. Yeah, that's my notes for this. I don't have many because like, the drawings are beautiful and it's a very nice, simple, peaceful and serene scene. I don't want to suggest adding a bunch of stuff to it that's going to take away from the feeling that you've got here. The small notes are just the smoke expanding outwards and maybe tying these two shots together a bit more with her expression and head tilt and also her hand. And doing something with the lady in the match there just to keep the continuity going between the shots. Yeah, that's. I think we got through everyone.
Woo!
Thank you very much, Rolando, for submitting for this week's challenge. You did a great job.
Way more submissions than I realized
Than we initially thought.
Yeah.
For sure, I thought we would only have 4 or 5. Yeah, this is beautiful drawings as always, Rolando. And thank you everybody for submitting your work. It's been an absolute pleasure to look through these. We really appreciate you guys taking these challenges on and really running with them.
And taking them seriously as well. Thank you.
So it's time for me to announce this week's Animating challenge. And this is...
Y'all ready?
You're ready for this? So
So
this week's challenge is a little bit different to what you guys are used to, which is what we like around here. Don't want you all getting too comfortable. So,
what you gonna hit them with?
get the chat up. So this week, you will not be doing actual animation yourself. You will instead be doing what I've been doing for the past couple of hours. I want you guys to choose a piece of animation that is one of your favourite pieces that you really look up to, the kind of thing that you want to make yourself. Find a piece of animation like that, and I want you to take a 10-second segment, or just under, from it, and I want you guys to break it down and analyse it.
What?
Yeah, like look at your favourite artist, your favourite animation artist, your favourite scene, and see what they did. And next week we'll be breaking down your breakdowns and seeing if we can find anything that you guys didn't. But I want you to look at how they use the time, how the turntables, or look at how they use the timing, how they use the spacing. A great resource for this is to look at your 12 principles again.
Yep.
Right? Go through each of the 12 principles and look at how they use squash and stretch. How do they use anticipation? How do they use staging, solid drawing, follow through?
As Tib says, oh yeah, time for y'all to figure out why you love what you love.
Yep. Like, where are they economic with their frames? Where do they use more frames? Why do they use them? What exposures do they use? You know, why have they chosen posing? What's the silhouettes like? What makes the shot give you that feeling?
Yeah.
What makes it inspire you to want to make the same thing?
Yeah, we recommend finding shots that you remember seeing that made you want to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And really figure out what that moment was for you.
Yeah. And have fun with it. As usual, we encourage you to spend no more than 3 hours on this. I think for this one, honestly, you could probably do it in about an hour and a half. But yeah, I'm excited to see what inspires you guys. And I think it will really help us to understand as well where each of you is coming from in terms of where you want to take your animation development. What kind of shots do you want to be known for making? And what kind of shots made you want to start making things in the first place?
Yeah. You don't necessarily have to go for something super flashy. It could be subtle. It could be a really emotional moment. It could be Sakuga, balls to the walls, just everything happening all at once. It could be effects. It could be anything.
So how do you even annotate? So I would encourage people to either download the clip and then import it into your animation software of choice, and then use the animation software to do notes over the top, whether that be Flash or Toon Boom. Just bring that bad boy in and do some notes over the top. Or if you like, you could even use Sync Sketch.
That Prep Rose is recommending. That's what we have up right now.
Yeah. This is what we've been using for this session. So I would recommend Sync Sketch. I think it's a fantastic program. It's really great.
I mean, if we can even figure out a way to let you all contribute to one thing, that would be cool, but we don't currently know how to do that, so don't rely
I think
on
also
that.
it's I think it would work better to have people each choose their own clip and annotate that.
Are you able to export? If you're able to export like using Sketch and then export us a movie, we can then reassemble it everyone's into our own.
Yeah, and I'm sure SyncSketch lets you export things because I've done notes in it before and exported it for people.
And that's what we'll do.
Yeah. So yeah, this Animorning challenge is to do the Animorning analysis challenge, which is find a piece of animation that speaks to you and break it down. And yeah, it will be due as usual at the end of this week. We will look through your chosen clips next Monday and we'll see if there's anything that we can find that you haven't, and we'll just talk about what makes them great. And hopefully we'll all learn from the masters.
We'll all learn together.
Yeah.
Do you want to show them your...
I don't know if it will play the
animated?
sound.
You can send me the video file and I'll play it.
I would then have to export it. I would have to export it and upload it to Doig Swift.
Yeah.
So let's show people tomorrow.
Okay.
Because we've already gone long.
Alright. That's okay. Okay. You were showing it first thing though. Or maybe. Yeah, we'll show it tomorrow.
Yeah. Anywho, we'll be back tomorrow at 7:30 AM GMT. We don't normally go this long. Normally we finish at 9. But Animornings have become like the meatiest part of the week for us.
And to those of you who have lasted this long, here's Sonic Feet for you. Courtesy of David.
Why would you?
Because
Meat, says Hinkerpinkart.
I want to honor him.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Alright.
Oh no, my nightmares are coming true.
Look at it, India.
I hate the way they glisten. Like it's like it's oiled them up or something. Yeah. Oh god, why is an appropriate response to this? And with that, we're gonna leave you guys. Let's see if there's someone that we can raid and send you guys to.
Okay. Let's see. Let's just open up. Let's just open it up here.
And if anyone here hasn't put their stuff on Twitter, then stick on Twitter because I'm just gonna go through after this and just retweet everyone's.
Please let me mute this. Right. Alrighty.
Oh, Clyde's streaming.
He is streaming. Shall we like bounce him back?
We certainly shall. Clyde was nice enough to raid us earlier.
Alrighty. Let's do it.
Pratt Bros, like people, like yeah, of course we're super welcome for us doing this. We learn as much as other people do from doing these. And for those in chat who don't know, I just want to do a shout out right now to Pratt Bros.
Pratt Bros, yeah.
I've seen a lot of streams that Bo has taken, and Bo does this kind of stuff every stream. If you guys enjoy watching animation analysis, you know, and people animating real time and talking about the process, then I highly recommend that you subscribe to and go and support Pratt Bros. They are amazing and they're super open with their knowledge. You know, they will do draw overs of people's work. They will take you through excerpts of amazing series and break down what's working. Really, really fun to watch. Please go and check them out.
I'm going to share. Anyone with this link can access the review. Anyone with can view only. Yep, cool.
So you're pasting it into the chat now?
Yeah.
So this is the link to all of the challenges that got uploaded today, along with the notes. We've made sure it's read only just in case to make sure that nothing can get screwed up in the process. So you'll be able to see them all there. Thank you, Hinkerpinkart, for doing the Animorning challenge. We appreciate you guys. Just being cool and being here and...
Being cool.
And being here. Thank you.
Alrighty.
So to Clyde's stream we go.
Starting the raid.
Everyone have an amazing time and please yell adventure!
Adventure! The thing that we do.
And get him to show you his film so far because it's incredible and it will blow your guys' socks off.
I think that I hit raid.
Yep.
Did it work?
Have we done our sign off yet? Is it?
No, I mean, did the actual...
I mean, it's saying we're raiding.
Okay, because I can't see that.
Okay, I think it's working. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you
Pat
so
the lucky
much.
one. And may the rest
Of your day
be filled
with
adventure.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.